a veteran journalist, and a Kefa Olubadan to this edition of Yoruba Gbode. Baba, you are welcome to Yoruba Gbode.
Thank you very much, Shola. My kind regards to you and the crew and the ladies and gentlemen who are joining us on the program tonight, and all over the world, the viewers. I thank you for considering me worthy to be a guest again on Yoruba Gbode.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we are happy. We can hear his voice and we can see him, so we know he's here. On behalf of my other presenters who are here to show up, I welcome you to this edition of Yoruba Gbode. We have an enormous work. We have very, very important work to do today. We want to look at the Nigerian Civil War, the Biafran War, whatever name we want to give it. It lasted for about 3 years, and it was a defining moment. It was a defining event in Nigeria. We all heard about everything that was going on around that time. As we have Oloye Lekan Alabi seated here, I also want to let us know that our wise men and women, they are around. Baba Banji Ajiloge, I haven't seen you. He is going to join us soon. Also, Professor Adeniran Adeboye and Chief Professor Omofolabo Ajayi Shoyinka, the third of our wise people on Yoruba Gbode. We are not going to waste time because we have a lot of work to do, and it's very, very important. I'm also taking this opportunity to thank our team, our engineering team in Nigeria, headed by Wale Gazal. Thanks for always being there for Yoruba Gbode. We appreciate you. We are going to start. Oloye Lekan Alabi, you've been a veteran journalist. Sometimes I want to call him a broadcaster because he's still broadcasting, and he has been in journalism for years and years and years. And even in Nigeria, in Ibadan now, he has a program that people rush and make sure that they don't miss on radio program. So Chief Lekan Alabi is our joy. So Chief Lekan Alabi, let's start from the events, things that were going on in Nigeria a little short while before the Civil War. Can you tell us what the atmosphere was? Was there anything going on that, you know, could signal danger, whatever was happening before that time? We'll be glad if you can start with that, sir.
Once again, thank you for inviting me. On January 15, 1966, Nigeria experienced a first military coup, whereby the premiers of Western Region, Chief Samuel Lado Akintola, the premier of Northern Region, Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Prime Minister of Nigeria, Sir Tafawa Balewa, the Minister of Finance, Chief Okoti Ebo, and some Northern and Western military officers, high-ranking officers, were assassinated. January 15, 1966. So the army took over. But it wasn't the coup planners that reaped the reward, if you allow me to use that word, of the coup. It was the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Major General Johnson Thomas Umanakwe Aguiyi-Ironsi, who was invited by the Senate President, and he handed power to. So Nigeria continued. But by the third day, the dust had settled. And the casualties, as I analyzed, were in the north and the west. The eastern region, nothing happened. Midwestern region, nothing happened. So suspicion arose that it was a one-sided coup planned and executed by Igbo military officers, except one, Major Ademoyiga. So in that situation of suspicion, allegation of partiality, Nigeria trudged on until Major General Johnson Thomas Omanako Aguiyi promulgated Decree number 34 on May 22, 1966, whereby the Federal Republic of Nigeria was turned into group of provinces, unitary system of government instead of federal system. And by implication, the Ronsi decree meant a civil servant can be posted from, say, Zaria to any part of the eastern region, say, Olu. A civil servant can be posted from Asaba to Agungu, vice versa. This caused a lot of discomfort among the northerners. One, they look at their size in the federal service. They look at the level of education in their region and became suspicious that the pledge made some 2 years before the January 15, 1966 coup by the then president of Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that it is only a matter of time when the Igbos will dominate Nigeria. But the anger in the north was further fueled by the expression of joy, victory dance, majorly by the Igbos in the north, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano, with a picture of the head of the Sadana of Sokoto bent and a boot, a soldier's boot on his head. So that's part of the riot in the north. And thereafter, what they now call pogrom, selected killings of Igbos or people of eastern region origin took place massively in the north, in Zaria, Kano, Kaduna. And this led to the need for pacification by the federal military government of Ironsi that it was not an Igbo coup or government. So a meeting of traditional rulers was called in Ibadan. Ironsi visited the north, he visited the east, and came to Ibadan, western region, for the traditional rulers conference, whereby reconciliations will be made, appeals for unity and forgiveness were discussed. Ironsi was supposed to leave on the night of the meeting, July 29, 1966, back to Lagos, headquarters of federal government. But there was typical of the Yoruba hospitality, a dinner for the traditional rulers and attendees. Perhaps Ironsi had got intelligence report of a counter coup. And he was asking the military governor of Western Region, the late Lieutenant Colonel Francis Adekunle Fajuyi, Francis, am I safe? And the governor was reassuring him, sir, because Ironsi was the supreme commander and his senior, a major general, that, sir, you are safe. Because you visited the north, nothing happened to you. Ditto the east, Midwest, now you are in Western Region. But something happened. Dawn of July 29, 1967, 1966, a counter coup was carried out, whereby Major General Ironsi, the head of state, Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi, military governor of Western Region, were abducted from the same government house, Gbode, Ibadan, and killed in the bush somewhere in Lalukan, which, of course, has now been marked. There's a cenotaph of the spot where Ironsi and Fajuyi were brutally beaten to dig their grave, shot, and buried. So that was what led to the counter coup.
So it was as a result of coup and counter coup. Now let us look at this man at the center and eventually who became the head of the Biafra, Odumegwu Ojukwu. Can you tell us who this man was and when did his role actually start on this?
Thank you very much. From school, Odumegwu Ojukwu had his early education in Lagos because his father, the richest Nigerian then, Sir Odumegwu Ojukwu, was resident in Lagos. So Ojukwu attended elementary school and secondary school, King's College, the famous, prestigious King's College, Lagos. And Ojukwu, being the son of perhaps the richest Nigerian, influential businessman, friend of the prime minister, with friends' connections in that places, Ojukwu acted like the son of a blue blood. That in his school, in King's College, Lagos, there was something like a rebellion, riot among the students and the teachers. Ojukwu, diminutive as he was in college, mounted the desk and slapped a white teacher of the school. So he had always shown the trait of an aggressive person. So Ojukwu from King's College, Lagos, was sent to the United Kingdom, Epsom College, and from there to Oxford University, where he had his first and second degrees, MA literature. So Ojukwu, on return to Nigeria, we will say people they call senior service, the black white man. When you go allow Ojukwu, but in his heart of heart, Ojukwu wanted to join the Nigerian army, but his father looked at him that with my influence, education you have, you want to join the Nigerian army? No, you are going to join the civil service and become a top career officer. So reluctantly, Emeka Ojukwu joined the federal civil service and was posted to the Eastern region, where he met Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi. Still with the burning desire, Ojukwu went to the recruitment center in Nguru and he got recruited as a recruit into the Nigerian army. He didn't present his certificates. So getting to the army, his ambition started to grow wings because he wanted to be in government. And when the coup happened, although he was not an insider, he invariably was appointed the military governor of Eastern region of Nigeria over 6 of his seniors of the Eastern Nigeria extraction. And then the platform became open when the pogrom of May 1966, June was carried out, and he became the champion, the voice of the Igbos, thereby leading to the Aburi meeting in Ghana. The then military head of state of Ghana, Lieutenant General had invited them in his capacity as the chairman of the Organization of African Unity. He said, this is a family matter, let us resolve it. So they went to Aburi. But clever man, Ojukwu recorded the meeting in Aburi. He was prepared far more than the federal team led by Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gawan, head of state. So they put the clause there, and they all signed that the regions will have some form of autonomy. Military commands will be established in the regions under the command of the military governors. But when they returned to Lagos, the people went to Enugu. The papers from Aburi were then studied by the cabinet office in Lagos, and the secretary to the cabinet, the immediate past over of Benin, the then Mr. Prince Akenzua, who later became the Oba of Benin, told Lieutenant Colonel Gawan, you have sold off the Federal Republic of Nigeria with these papers. So Gawan asked him, what should we do? Then they tampered with part of the agreement, which Ojukwu insisted nothing must be taken out and nothing must be added. And his famous slogan was, on Aburi we stand. That was the contention that led to the creation of more states in the country, particularly in the Eastern region, where you had the former Eastern region broken into about 4. So Ojukwu and his people said, no way. On the 16th of July, 1967. The war ended 15 January, 1970.
Before we go, because I would really like us to go in depth to the process and everything that really happened during the war, as much as you can tell us. But before we move on to that, a lot of people want to know more about the Aburi Convention, the real purpose, and the could we say the Aburi Convention was a trigger to the Civil War, or what exactly was the main purpose of what part did the Aburi Convention took? What part did the Aburi Convention take in the issue?
Thank you. Although Ghanaians call their town Aburi, we call it Aburi. Aburi or Aburi is the same thing.
Okay.
Some kilometers outside Accra. And the head of state of Ghana, military head of state, took them to a resort place. Federal military government and the protesting Eastern Nigeria military government. So, as in his word, have a brotherly meeting and resolve all the issues, particularly Ojukwu insisted on knowing the whereabouts of the Supreme Commander and his host, General Ironsi and Colonel Fajui. 2, he wanted all those who killed the Igbo masses in the north brought to justice. And he wanted for some period, or whatever period it takes, the distancing between the Eastern region and the rest of Nigeria. So they went for the meeting, 2-day meeting. January 4, January 5, 1967, with their secretaries of government. It was the technocrats who drafted the Aburi Agreement, or we call it the Aburi Report. And they read it to all the senior participants, the head of state, Lieutenant Colonel Gawan, the military administrator of Lagos, Major Mobalaji Johnson, the military governor of Western State, Colonel Robert Adeyinka Adebayo, the most senior, Lieutenant Colonel David Ejo, and the military governor of the North, Lieutenant Colonel Azan Kasina. At the end, the military head of state of Ghana joined them and said, here's the report. You are brothers. We are all brothers. Don't let us allow this thing to escalate into a war. He even saw them to the airport. General Ankara sat in the car behind. He sat in the middle between Gawan and Ojukwu. And they thought it was all over until Ojukwu said, not a word must be taken or added to the report. And the federal government said, no, if you sign this paper, you have sold off Nigeria. So hostility started. And then Ojukwu declared the Republic of Biafra. And the federal side said, perhaps, in the words of General Lieutenant Colonel Hassan Kasina, he said, we will capture Ojukwu within 24 hours. We didn't capture it within 24 weeks, 24 months. It lasted for 3 years. Civil war. Millions of lives were lost on both sides, particularly the Igbos. And properties destroyed. Just because of the insistence by Ojukwu that the Aburi Agreement must not be tampered with. And the federal government's new vote faced that certain clauses in this report must be taken out because the unity of Nigeria must be maintained.
Thank you, sir. Participant, audience, listeners all over the world, wherever you are just coming in. Our topic today, we are looking at the Nigerian Civil War, the Biafran War. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And any lesson learned. And the special guest for today is Oloye Lekan Alabi, a veteran journalist, and Kefa Olubadan of Ibadan land. Before we go on, I wanted to use this opportunity to introduce my other presenter, Adeyinka Baba Yaji. I was looking for him. I couldn't, but I guess he was on when we have already started. Adeyinka, you are on. I want you to say hello and thank you before we move on.
Yes, I am joining with a lot of joy in my heart because we've brought the Kefa Olubadan, who is an encyclopedia on all the things that led to the fracas that happened in Nigeria between 1966 and 1970. Even beyond then, before then, there were things that culminated into the ugly civil war which happened in Nigeria. And I know that today we will be really, really informed as to what happened. And I'm delighted to be part of this program. I pay homage to him. He's one of my mentors, and he's played a very fantastic role in my life, and he still continues to play a great role in my life. I look up to him quite a bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Oloye Lekan Alabi. There are so many things that we hear about this civil war. And today is the day of talk, Onilojoro, like my people will say. And actually, the reason why we are doing this in English is because we want everybody to hear what is going on. We want everybody to know the truth and to know what exactly happened. I don't want to hear, oh, they did it in Yoruba because I'm Hausa and they just want to marginalize me. They did it in Yoruba and I'm Igbo and they want to lie. They don't want everybody. No, that's why we're doing it in English. Unfortunately, Nigeria doesn't have a common language. So the only thing that is close to that is the English that we're speaking now. Also, I want to recognize the presence of one of our elders, Oloye Ibadan, and who is also one of our mentors, one of the people who have really worked hard to make sure that Yoruba Gbode is what it is today. Baba Falola is a great professor of history, arts, and he has written so many books. He is always very supportive of Yoruba Gbode. I'm trying to catch his face somewhere here. Admin, councilwoman, please, if you see Baba Falola's face, can you bring it to limelight for all of us to see, to admire again? Thank you. Baba Falola, you are welcome. And we thank you for all your great and hard work on everything that concerns Yoruba Gbode and Yoruba as a race. We appreciate you.
Baba has a litany of over 150 books to his record. He's one of the world's greatest scholars.
Oh, yes. Baba Falola, where's your face? We're looking for his face. As soon as I get his face, okay, I'm starting the video. I'm also taking this opportunity to introduce my other presenter, and I'm going to allow him to be able to say his own welcome. That is Atokun Abolaji Ayobami. You on? Okay, mute yourself. Yes.
Thank you very much, Olotu, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Yoruba Gbode with our wonderful guests. It's nice to see you, Oloye Lekalabi. Like my co-presenter said, the encyclopedia of history. We started enjoying you, and I know that our listener will enjoy you throughout the day. Yoruba say, so whether it's black, white, or red, we shall see. Thank you for honoring our invitation once again. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce another very important guest who is going to also be talking on this program today. She is Yeye Taiwo Lijadu. When the time, okay, she is on. Auntie Taiwo, say hi to everybody so that they will know you are here. Auntie Taiwo. Auntie Taiwo, we can see you, but we're not hearing you. But we have to hear you now because we heard that you were there at the war front. So we wanted to know what you were doing there. So, and the only way we know is, okay, they said you are connecting to the audio, but everybody can see you. This is Yeye Taiwo Lijadu of Lijadu sister. Auntie Taiwo, can you hear us? They said you can't hear us, but we know that you are here. So when the time comes, we are going to be talking to Yeye Lijadu. Also, one of my elders that I didn't have the opportunity to introduce yet, Baba Adeniran Adeboye. You are here. I want you to say you're welcome before we continue. Baba Adeniran Adeboye.
Yeah, I want to welcome our guest, Ẹ̀kẹfà Olúbàdàn. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. We are very happy
sir.
to see you. We are, yeah. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ gan ni Ọlọ́run á fi ṣẹ́yìn wá.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Auntie Taiwo, Lijadu, we're looking at you, and we know that you'll be able to talk when the time comes. We are happy that you have joined us. Baba Banji Ayiloge, you didn't have the opportunity to say your own welcome.
Yeah, now I do. Baba Karim.
Ekefa. You want to give him double promotion online?
Well, àti ní ṣerú promotion yẹn sì torí a mọ nǹkan tó ń fa promotion bàdàn, so àti ìfẹ́ yẹn. Ìgbà tó when he was here last, he gave us another name to join what we know him for. But I'm so heartened today because I said and I predicted that at that time that he may be eyeing 2023. Now today that he has not promoted the third name, I know that the campaign to stop 2023 must have gotten to him.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying it in a way, the last time I said maybe there is politics in your future for asking us to join. We've always heard about Lekan Alabi. Then you said we should add Abdul Fattah or something like that.
No, Abdul Rashid.
Abdul Rashid. Then I said that is when Nigerians want to
politicize,
come to politics now, or they want to go into partisan or active politics, they now bring out the other names. Now, today, you have not asked us to use that name or add that name to your name.
Yes, sir. Because that time was Eddie Kabir Festival. And I was pulling your legs, sir.
I know.
Should I be expecting my ram? That was there.
So when
anyway,
Christmas
I haven't said that.
Ramadan just finished.
I haven't said that. Yeah, you are truly an encyclopedia of Nigerian history. You've laid out the facts. What we need to do, maybe later, is to interpret some of these signs. Because like we've always been saying on this program that of all the principal ethnic groups in Nigeria, until now, Yoruba had never said we want to leave Nigeria. Until now. We have always been bending over backwards and trying to accommodate and trying to bring everybody as if our life depends on it.
True.
Until now.
Yes, sir.
And those are the areas. But I'm very glad that you've been able to, give us all those signposts. And the younger ones will be able to now understand, what could, the younger ones now will understand when we interpret some of these things, they will be able to understand the fact that those who started, every major tribe, or let me say ethnic group in Nigeria, had tried to dominate the others. Sure. The Yorubas are the only ones who have never tried to dominate others. We've also accommodated. We've shown that our civilization is far more superior because we don't need to dominate others to be able to get on. These are the reasons that I think a program like this and bringing somebody knowledgeable like you to these shows is very important. So we will do the interpretation as we go along. And I want to greet you and I want to congratulate you. And I hope Your promotion will be coming at the time that God said it should come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Amen. Amen. Yes. Thank you, Baba Banji Ajiloge. We're very happy for your contribution. We know more are still coming. Those of you who are with us, we are live also on YouTube. We are live on Yoruba radio, Yoruba Gbode traditional radio, where they can get us. I'm very, very happy. Please share this. Continue to share so other people can benefit from the historical event that we are all hearing about now. Admin, please, can you help Yeye Taiwo Lidiadu with the audio? Please call her and see what is going on with our audio, so we won't miss her when it's time for her to speak. Now, there are some important figures that people talk about when we talk about Nigerian Civil War. We, especially from Yoruba side. If it is possible, I would like you, Oloyele Kalabi, to explain to us their roles. Number one. Number two, there are some things that we're hearing about the role and the impact of Papa Awolowo. Is it possible to talk about people like Adekunle Scorpio and Baba Awolowo and their parts, the role that they took during this defining issue?
Thank you.
The Nigerian Civil War.
Thank you. The British set the tribes against one another, as if they were going to play a football match or run a race whereby the winner will take all. So they were goading the Fulani Hausa through Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa, that whatever comes, there are two ways in the world then, and I think still now, whereby a party or group can seize power through the ballot box. One man, one woman, one vote, or through the barrel of the gun, military coup. And they were assuring Ahmadu Bello that either way, you've got it. One, the first census in Nigeria was conducted by the British before independence. And the chief census officer came from England, a white man. And when they conducted the census, he said it was error of a plus or minus 1%. The population in the South almost double that of the North. And Sir Ahmadu Bello and his people said, no way. With this landmass, how can Eastern region and Western region, if matched, not up to the Northern region landmass? No, we won't accept this result. We are more populated than the South. And the gentleman said, this is what I studied, and this is what I do. Demography, the coastline, the population is always higher as you taper to the north, the desert. It was Alhaji Tafawa Balewa who first used the word secession in Nigeria. And remember, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Premier of Northern Region, was the Joe Prime Minister of Nigeria. Tafawa Balewa from Bauchi was under the control of Ahmadu Bello, with due respect, because Ahmadu Bello was the national president of the Northern People's Congress. And they said they would secede. So what did the British do? Then they told the census officer, recant. Not only recant, make sure the North is more in population than the South. And the gentleman said, no way. I'm not going to sell my conscience. This is scientifically done. Put it to test. What did the British government do? They deported the British census officer back to England and requested for somebody who will be more. And that one came, and the census was done. And since then, if Nigeria population is counted tomorrow will be Monday, 24th May 2021. It will take 3, 4, 5 months before you get the final result, because they must adjust the units. And since then, they said the North was more than the South put together. And they told Sir Ahmadu Bello, if they do, because we are running the British parliamentary system, it's majority that will win. We got it. If they want to use military, all the military bases are situated in your region. Nigeria Defense Academy, Nigeria Military School, Nigeria, and all those things are now added more. That's why you now have the University of Navy or something in President Muhammad Buhari's hometown.
Navy.
Ahmadu Bello was, okay, that's all right. And I am a pure Yoruba man, pure one. But of all the nationalists, Sir Ahmadu Bello is my man. Why?
Why?
It's what Sir Ahmadu Bello had been saying between 1947, 48, 49, 52, 56, 57, constitutional talks in London, that Afenifere, Ohaneze, Middle Belt Group, civil rights, they are now echoing. And what did Ahmadu Bello say? He was always telling Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe in particular, Benjamin, don't rush with Northern region to independence or self-government. Let us first of all resolve our differences, because we are not the same. And Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and people in his camp will say, Ahmadu, let us take independence first. Then we come home to resolve our differences. In 1948, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa said, Nigeria is the imagination of the British, because Nigerians themselves know that they are not one. They are different in religion, custom, culture, beliefs. He said it. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, 1964, I'm paraphrasing them now. 1964, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe said, if we are to part, let us part in peace. CE, and not in pieces. Otherwise, we will be pushing Nigeria to the situation of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And he said, he will want politicians to hearken onto his prediction. Chief Obafemi Awolowo said, there is no nation called Nigeria. It's a mere geographical expression. As there are no Nigerians, as you have the Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish in the UK. Because Awolowo had always stood on the point of linguistics and cultural affinity for the regions. So they said, no, take self-government first. So Western Nigeria, under, with due respect, Mr. Obafemi Awolowo became the head of government and Minister of Local Government, and later Premier, Western Region. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe in the Eastern Region, ditto. Sir Ahmadu Bello in the Northern Region, or Sir Ahmadu Bello. History will now prove him and his rigidity that Tafawa Balewa You go and meet them. He was calling the South people of the bridge, Kata Bridge. Go and be their prime minister. Because Ahmadu Bello's ambition was to be Sultan of Sokoto, which had been predicted before he was born. Because they said he will be Uthman Dan Fodio reincarnated. So he stayed in the north. And we started. Chief Obafemi Awolowo now went to Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Let us form an alliance, Action Group plus NCNC. I am ready to serve under you as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Dr. Azikiwe said, that's all right. And at the same time, Dr. Azikiwe was negotiating with the Northern People's Congress. He told Awolowo and his team to come out, let us meet at the boundary between Eastern Region and Western Region, Asaba. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe did not turn up. Rather, he had gone to meet with Ahmadu Bello, and they formed the alliance, whereby they shared the federal portfolio, leaving Action Group as leader of opposition. And we started trudging on. That our insistence was Western Region must include Lagos and part of today's Kogi and Ilorin Township. But it was always blocked. Awolowo and Anthony Enahoro now raised a point in Parliament. This Constitution of Nigeria put a clause for secession. Any region who is dissatisfied with the future of this federation can pull out. It was Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe who blocked that move. That no region must be given the freedom or choice of secession. See where we are doing, we are running after now. And all this will not be necessary. Taking the Aburi report of 1967, taking the pre-war situation in Nigeria and post-war civil war into consideration, if we had remained a true federation, whereby the regions were controlling their resources and giving some percentage to the federal. And it was the Ironsi Decree number 34 that turned Nigeria into a unitary system, which Gawan now expanded, and all governments, particularly all governments headed by Northerners, had always stood on. They will always tell you the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable, whereby a certain part of the country will tell you automatically, this ministry is ours, Ministry of Defense, Federal Capital Territory, Ministry of External Affairs. No, that's not a fair agreement. So, Awolowo and Anthony Enahoro, they first moved the motion for independence for Nigeria. But Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, the Northern People Congress in Parliament objected. Sir Ahmadu Bello now said they should use a clause, independence for Nigeria at a most convenient time, because it was Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola who first moved the motion for Nigeria's independence, but Anthony Enahoro takes the claim even after that. And they said it must be a true federation, whereby certain ministries exclusive, which the federal military government, from federal military to democracy now, has in the bag. Agriculture. Agriculture is not a preserve of any federal government in the world. Local government. Education. The resources of the regions, because it was the resources of Western region that the government used in building and providing free education, free medical care. Western region was paying the highest public salaries in Nigeria. Twice, Western region loaned federal government under Balewa salaries, although they repaid. first television in Africa, the first housing estate, the first industrial estate in Kenya, Apapa, and all those firsts. But the unitary system now says federal government is in charge of Greek, local government. Even the regions had agent generals in the United Kingdom. Northern region had, Eastern region had, Western region had, and Nigeria had high commissioner. And we were all practicing and moving at a pace, competitive. Western region will first lead, Eastern region will tell them, carry on, we'll join you later. So the war, the civil war, the contention of Emeka Ojukwu, Lieutenant Colonel Emeka Ojukwu, was that the Igbo were marginalized and they had been massacred and they didn't feel safe anymore.
But Oloye, Carolisa, before we get into that point, there's a very critical question that I need to put to you, sir. One would think that Azikiwe, who was a very Nnamdi Azikiwe, sir.
Yes.
Who was a very intelligent man, highly exposed, and had a lot of, had interactions with Westerners. We are Yorubas. Why did you think that he shifted to the north when it was time for him to align to the Yorubas? Why would he choose to go to the north as against stay with the Yorubas at that very critical time in history?
Thank you. It was his right, and it's still anybody's right, but they should not put the overall interest of either the family, the town, region into jeopardy. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was even more Yoruba than some Yorubas. He attended Methodist Boys' High School in
Lagos.
He gave all his children Yoruba names. And he had an ally, loyal to the end, in the person of Alhaji Adegoke, Honorable Alhaji Adegoke Adelabu, Bekeleves. Now they said the Yoruba started carpet crossing. No way, there was nothing like carpet crossing. We were running parliamentary system, which they still do in UK till tomorrow. If a party does not have majority in the parliament, then you have to approach the other parties. They have over 24 parties in UK, but the three best known are Labour, Conservative, and Liberal. So neither NCNC, Western Region, House of Assembly, and whoever came first will become the first premier of Western Region. Nnamdi Azikiwe was so confident. He had sewn the dashiki he would wear, and he was lodged at the government catering house. So the governor, Sir John Rankin, conducted the election. Action Group did not have majority. NCNC did not have majority. The third party was the Ibadan People's Party, led by Olola Moyo Aboderi, the elder brother of Olu Aboderi of the Punch. So Nnamdi Azikiwe and his team, Adegoke Adelabu by him, my paternal grandmother, the woman leader of NCNC in Ibadan in the 1950s, was among the delegation that approached the Ibadan People's Party of Olola Moyo Aboderi. Adegoke Adelabu, Chief A.M.A. Akinloye, our father, who later became Olubadan. Then D.T. Akibi, L. Adebelu, and they met with them. His politics now, what are you bringing? What is the offer? Okay, we'll call you. We'll call you. NCNC left. Obafemi Awolowo, Anthony Enahoro, and the Action Group Sowers went to the Ibadan People's Party. They had similar meetings. Only God and our ancestors, may their souls continue to rest in peace. That is why we are urging people, please, don't die with your ideas and story. If you cannot write, you can hire. Let them write the biography. Let us see the facts after you must have gone. So they decided to go with Action Group. And the governor again said, those who are on the side of Action Group, please indicate. So they moved. Those who are in the side of SNC, please do. You counted. Yes, Action Group had majority. Now you are going to form government. When they say Western Yoruba started carpet crossing,
No.
and it was that thing that Azikiwe heard. Awolowo, and you and your people, you are denying me the premiership.
Right. The Western region.
And they told him, please go back
to the east.
To the Eastern region. And what did Nnamdi Azikiwe do? The South, the Jaw people, they now say they are the minority and the balancing approach. Who was the premier was removed. Nnamdi Azikiwe took his seat back. So that people who are listening to us and watching can know that Yorubas did not betray
anybody,
Zik, or anybody, and they did not cross carpet. It was parliamentary system.
Yeah.
That is why when the government was formed, the Ghana People Party was rewarded with the promised ministerial position. Chief A.M. Akiloye became Minister of Agriculture.
Yes.
In the Awolowo cabinet. So, you could say Zik did not forgive Obafemi Awolowo. That is why he said, oh, you want to be my deputy, and then you'll be Minister of Finance. Oh yeah, let us team up. Because you said Zik was enlightened. He was the most qualified then. PhD by academic work.
American.
From America.
Yes.
And you know Zik was blessed with
orator.
Vocabulary.
Orator.
So, Zik, history repeated itself. 1979.
Exactly.
Unity Party of Nigeria.
NPP.
Nigeria People's Party, led by Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nigeria National Party of Nigeria, led by Shehu Shagari, although Chibakule was the national chairman.
Yes.
What's the name of the then in Lagos? MPP of Zik was holding alliance meeting on a floor of the hotel, 4 floors up. A delegation mandated by Zik was meeting with the MPN. At the end of the day, MPP formed an alliance with MPN, leaving UPN out.
Right.
So we can say that
second time
animosity, vengeance led to the unworkability of political pact between Igbos and Yorubas. So Yoruba will say, the North will always carry the thing. If both of you are fighting. And that led to the military situation again when Ojukwu insisted that the lives of his people that were terminated, oh God, I don't know if you have seen the massacre of the Jews by the Nazis, because immediately Enugu was liberated, 1969. My beloved late father, alias Right Time, moved our family from Lokoja to Enugu, number 86, Owerri Road, Asata, Enugu. 2 of my younger sisters attended Queen's College, Enugu. I saw it. The human dignities vested on Igbo. If you are above 14 and you are a male and you didn't have pass, like you are risking your life. Federal troop and the police, because police were first sent to do the order and all that, and the military and the Igbos must be issued with passes. Those who are now shouting for war. If you see what they call war, you will run. particularly when it comes to blockade of food and AIDS, that made almost 2 million people die, particularly children. Let us stop. Because at the end of the day, any war in this world, now the Israelis and the Palestinians, now United Nations will now ask them to come again to peace table. After
Carole, I have another question for you, Oloye. And the question that I have for you is this.
Yes, please.
When we younger ones were coming up, there was something we heard. And what we heard was this, that it was exclusively an Igbo coup, that the Igbos orchestrated that coup because they wanted to position themselves. They wanted to position. May I see myself, please? I'm not sure whether I have visual.
We can see you.
Okay, good. So I wasn't. So what we heard was that. It was exclusively an Igbo coup. Could you clarify that for us, sir?
Thank you. I have brought to the program tonight the special publication I made. Please, if you can read this, a 52-year-old appointment kept in 2021.
True.
Professor Wole Soyinka, then Mr. Wole Soyinka of University College Ibadan, the risk of his life to visit Ojukwu in Enugu. And what did they discuss? He said he was trying to talk Ojukwu out of the war. But the federal military government under Lieutenant then General Yakubu Gowon monitored Professor Wole Soyinka from Ibadan to Lagos, Lagos to Benin to Enugu. So they arrested him on campus and asked him, "You went to Enugu?" He said he didn't go to Enugu. He didn't go to Enugu. Nigeria used to work on CID. They showed him his itinerary. He said, "Yes, I went." Fine. Now tell us, what did you discuss with Ojukwu? Rather than use what you can call diplomatic way and all that thing, the man refused. So they transported him to Kaduna prison, indefinite detention. That is when 1967, I was 17 years old. From 3 students, African Church Grammar School, Apata Ganga Ibadan. I wrote the head of state, General Yakubu Gowon. I wrote him a letter, which was acknowledged. What did I write there? First paragraph, I introduced myself. Second paragraph, sir, I read the Daily Times copy of yesterday. Bold front headline. Wole Soyinka will remain in prison as long as the war lasts. That one. Is that how they send people to prison? What was his offense? So I asked General Gowon, yes, sir, please do me 2 favors. Release Mr. Soyinka or take him to a court of law. Second letter, Mr. Wole Soyinka, care, chief warder, Kaduna prison, Kaduna. Same first paragraph. Second, sir, I am an admirer of yours. Please, by the grace of God, you will not die in detention. You have to continue the good work you are doing. Thank you. Sign. Posted. Editor, Daily Times. Do you know Nigeria used to work? Do you know that my letter got to the table of General Gowon and he replied, as they used to do in civil service? The letter reference so is hereby acknowledged. Click on the issue, they will tell you whether they are going to treat the issue or not. The letter again, second one got to Professor Soyinka, although in his reply to me, former reply, he wrote me a letter of appreciation, 1969, when he was released. And he said, your letter, among others, was handed over to me on my release. Kindly see me in the School of Grammar. I've told all these stories so that the Igbos in particular should see the efforts of the Yorubas in the interest of everybody. The Unity Party of Nigeria, they took on the case of Sugaba, who the MPN had deported to the border between Nigeria and Chad. The late Chief Adeniro Ogunsoya remained the apostle, sincere apostle, follower of Azikiwe till he died. Dito Adewoke Adelabu. So if they go back into history with empirical facts to show, the Yorubas have always maintained that don't let us go into battle. Let us sit down. Use this thing that God has given us. That is why Harold Wilson, a former Prime Minister of Britain, said Chief Obafemi Awolowo could easily run Britain.
Spain.
Because all it takes is this: intelligence, planning, sincerity. So there is no record to show that the Yoruba has betrayed any tribe in this country. Rather, they will always go to the point, even at their own detriment. The point. That's the Yoruba. Anyway, if a group of people are fighting now or anytime, when the Yoruba man gets there, even if it's his in-law that is engaged in the brawl, his first question will be, kilo shele, kilo de, whereas some tribes in this country, they will go for gorgeous artillery and all that. And
John Jemole Dasi.
Bàbá Dasi o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ẹ̀yin náà ni mo fẹ́ pè ní ìsìn. Ṣùgbọ́n kó tó di pé ẹ sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ dákun, àǹtí Táíwò, ó dá ẹ nawọ́ sókè ṣùgbọ́n ẹ lè sọ̀rọ̀. Ká gbóhùn yín torí pé ẹ púṣì ibi tó sọ pé join with audio àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ a lè gbọ́ tẹ́ni láti ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí ni join with audio.
Connect over the internet, audio over the internet.
Ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa àǹtí Táíwò ẹ nawọ́ sókè kò sí bá ṣe gbọ́ yín.
Ìyábẹ̀ Òkúta ló ti sọ̀rọ̀ ni.
No, ìjà rẹ̀.
Yèyé Táíwò, ẹ wo aago yín, àmọ̀ràn
ṣe wá bú mi tó bá wọlé.
So Bàbá Adéníran Adébóyè.
Internet.
Ẹ ṣeun olóòtú, mo sì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ tí a wà níjókòó.
Ṣé wọ́n ti wọlé?
Mo rí tí tó wò òkè.
Wọ́n ti wọlé náà ṣùgbọ́n wọn ni ò wọlé.
Ẹ kó sọ̀rọ̀ ká tẹ̀ wò.
Àǹtí Táíwò, Yèyé Líjàdù, ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa? Ẹ gbọ́ wa. Ẹ wo fóònù yín tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ rí àránṣẹ́ sí yín lórí fóònù. Join with internet.
Exactly.
Ẹ ṣe tẹ ní message.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí Abọ́lájí.
Okay. Atọ́kùn Ayọ̀bámi ẹ máa ṣiṣẹ́ lórí wọn ohun ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ má jáde o.
I'll send you one text message nísìnyí.
Okay. Bàbá Adébóyè ẹ̀ ń ṣòlẹ̀.
Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn tó wà níjókòó, ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ fi kún nǹkan tí a ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu host wa, guest wa.
Bàbá Adébóyè, if you don't mind,
if you don't
can
mind,
you speak English? So some people think
speaking.
I'm going, we are hearing you. But if you speak in English, nobody will say we are saying things behind their back.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I can manage some English. I want to thank everybody in the audience, and again welcome our guest, and thank him for a number of detailed materials that he presented to us. I just want to add some things that are already a matter of official record to what everybody has been banding around in terms of what happened in the elections of 1951-52 in Western Nigeria. The election was arranged by the colonial government and they asked the political parties to identify their candidates. I hope everybody is listening to me, because the action group identified those people who are running on their platform of action group. And there were 4 people who are action group people but did not run on the platform. They ran as independent. Alhaji Adegbero was one of them. As I'm talking now, I don't remember the others, but I have the record in my file. In any case, Nnamdi Azikiwe, who was the leader of the NCNC, did not submit to the colonial government the candidates for his party. I want everybody to know that it's a matter of record. It's in the British archive. He did not submit any names.
Correct, sir. You are correct, sir.
Okay. He did not submit any names. So when the elections were over, the government, which is colonial government, which has nothing to do with coming from Gbode or Ibadan, they announced the results of the election. There were 80 seats that were up for grabs, 80 for Western House of Assembly. Awolowo's action group already had 38 of the names that he submitted. 38 of them were elected. Fact. Are you there?
Yes.
Of the independents that were elected, 4 of them were natural action group members, including Adegbero. Are you with me? So if you went to form a government based on the election alone, without anybody changing party or anything like that, Awolowo's action group had 42 out of 80. It could form government the day after the election.
Yes.
Fact. Now, fact, Awolowo did not really want to be that narrow. In fact, government being situated in Ibadan, which was an Oyo town, he would have wanted more of Oyo people to join forces with him. Oyo meaning Oyo speaking, not Oyo town necessarily, but Oyo speaking people who are the majority in Yoruba country.
Right.
He would have wanted more of them. So he started negotiating with the Ibadan People's Party, as our guest mentioned. There was one particular member I wanted to catch. He was not so lucky, and that's Adegoke Adelabu. But he got the other 5. Akibiyi, Lanleyin, Akiloye. I think Lanleyin was one of them too, from Ibadan. But, oh my God. Yes, Aboderi. All of those people were part of the Ibadan People's Party that joined forces with the action group to create the new government of Western Nigeria in January 1952. I was in school then. So I want us to understand that it's documented. You can Google it. It's documented that Awolowo's action group needed nobody to form the government of Western Region in 1952. However, Azikiwe, who obviously had very many friends in the action who ran for election, among his friends were Adeleke Adedoyin. Among his friends were Alhaji Olorun Nimbe. In fact, Adeleke Adedoyin, Alhaji Olorun Nimbe, and Nnamdi Azikiwe were the 3 candidates from Lagos who won the election to the Western House of Assembly in December 1951. So they were NCNC people, all 3 of them, and they won all the seats in Lagos. But that didn't prove anything in terms of majority victory in Western Nigeria. Now, my friend Azikiwe went to the Oba of Shagamu, Adedoyin's father, and tried to keep Adedoyin a friend to stay with him. Okay. So Adedoyin joined forces with the action group and became the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Now, as to Azikiwe's qualification, they are vastly exaggerated. I have been working at Howard University for 47 years. I have gone to Lincoln. I have asked for data. I have documentation that Azikiwe got a Bachelor of Science degree in political science and a master's in anthropology. End of story. No, nothing PhD. All those are old wives' tales, propaganda things that were brought to Nigeria to exaggerate. And I'm not saying that Azikiwe wasn't a brilliant person, but to exaggerate it for political advantage and all of that stuff, don't repeat it, because it will look like the people of Western region didn't want the most brilliant person to be their premier. No, the most brilliant person was, in fact, among the people elected, was in fact that lawyer from London who finished a law degree in about 2 or 3 years. In case you don't know his name, I will tell you his initial. Obafemi Awolowo.
Yes.
So I want to bring all of those things in, because the Yoruba say, "Kosoju mi penkotu."
There is something you are leaving out, Doctor.
Maybe you will fill in the blank.
No, I want you to quickly talk about it. That was the real reason why Azikiwe had to go into alliance with MPC, the first alliance with the MPC.
And that's it. Okay, I will get there, but now that you have asked me to do that, yeah. and I will do it if they allow me. But the point I wanted to make is historical data, the foundation of our problems. It was Chinua Achebe, who was a student at the University College Ibadan, who went on a propaganda thing to say that the people were crossing carpet in Ibadan. No, it didn't happen. It did not happen. And it never produced evidence.
Yes,
so now, as to the coalition government in the federal legislature, the 1957 government was not really a coalition, it's a government of national unity. Every region contributed to the center. The action group contributed Akitola and Ayorosiji to the center. The NCNC contributed Mbadiwe, I think Are Njoku, and all of that stuff to the center. So the point is, it was a government of national unity. The British government appointed Sarah Abubakar prime minister for the first time in 1957. There was no election. They just put him there.
It was an appointment. Okay.
Really? Huh?
It was appointment.
It was an appointment. Yeah. After the London Constitutional Conference and the preparation for alleged independence, they chose a prime minister.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, in 1959, December 12th, there was a federal election. And in that federal election, the NCNC had more popular votes. The action group had the second set popular vote. Each of them was over 1.9 million. The MPC that did not have popular vote had far more constituencies because of the way they divided Northern region. The British wanted Abubakar, Sardauna, and all of that stuff to form the government, but they did not have enough seats to do that. Meanwhile, the Foster Searching Inquiry of the 1956, 57, 58 found Azikiwe guilty of malfeasance, commingling the funds of the NCNC and the African Continental Bank. So in order to make sure that they had him under their pocket, they did not take him to court, but they told him he had to support the MPC to form a coalition government or he will go to prison.
That's correct.
Now, come on. As I said before, my father was an NCNC man. In fact, there were only two action group people in my household, me and my immediate senior brother. Everybody else were NCNC. So I have no... I mean, I'm just trying to say, factually, let us deal with the facts of history
Yeah,
so that we are not defensive. We just put the facts out, and they are documented by data, written by the British, not by me.
Yes. Professor Adeboye, sir, there are something that you need to backtrack on, and we want people to know in this place is that even NCNC was a baby of about Macaulay.
Okay.
Not
okay. I'm not saying NCNC was. Okay, let me be very clear about this. The NCNC was not a political party.
okay.
It was a political movement.
Okay.
In 1944.
Okay.
In fact, a whole bunch of Yoruba were in it. It was not an Igbo party. It was H.O. Davis, Adeni Ogunsoya, Adelabu. It was a group of people who are breaking away from the Nigerian youth movement, but who are still pro, and they co-opted the father of Nigerian nationalism, Herbert Macaulay, to be part of it. In fact, it was when they were moving from place to place, including northern Nigeria, that Macaulay fell sick and died when they were trying to promote the NCNC movement. Let me tell you what the NCNC meant at that time. National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon. It was not a political party. Cameroon was a trust territory given to us by the League of Nations, given to the British by the League of Nations. However, when Azikiwe became the leader of the NCNC, the movement, he and two other people raised money from principally Yoruba people to go to London to fight the Richards Constitution. Among the people that went, I hope Professor Folabo Soyinka Ajayi is here. Among the people who went there was Mrs. Sansom Kuti. When they went and came back, they accused Azikiwe of misappropriating funds. This was 1949. And that's where the animals about where these Yoruba people were accusing me of stealing money and so on and so forth. I would never let a Yoruba person become anything in this country. And that's how they formed a political party. And in 1948, he said he was the president of Igbo State Union. Igbo State Union. You call Yoruba people sectional, but Igbo State Union, Ibibio State Union already existed before Igbo Modudua. Fact.
Thank you, Baba Adeboye. Thank you.
So the bottom line is that NCNC was not a political party, but when it gave the impression that it was that it was his destiny for Igbo to rule Nigeria, then Alhaji, the guy from the north, Aminu Kano, was scared. If he went there and created Jamia something Arewa, that's what became the Northern People's Congress today. I'm a dominate Nigeria. And that's why the Awolowo, the action group, also decided to form from Egbe Modudua so that Yoruba people will not be run over. But it was the speech from him and from this boy who's, what's his name? Justice, whatever his name is, I will come at it. But I want to let me shut up.
Baba. Thank you. Thank you so much for people who are just joining us, whether on YouTube or Yoruba Gbode Radio or on the Zoom here. The topic for today is the Nigerian Civil War. And our guest today is Oloye Lekan Alabi. Oloye Lekan Alabi is going to be answering questions from people. Engineer Gazal, please. I cannot find Oloye Lekan Alabi anymore. Can you put him there? While we are waiting for him to join us back, I want to take this opportunity to recognize Odidere Ayekoto. Odidere Ayekoto ma wole maraba. Tẹ́ bá lè sọ̀rọ̀ ká gbóhùn yín kẹ́ kí wa. Bàbá odídẹrẹ́ ayé kò tọ́, àbẹ́yìn kọ́ ni ẹyẹ méjì ìdáṣà. Ẹni tó bá tún jẹ́ ayé kò tọ́, ó ń jí orúkọ ń jẹ́ ni. Bàbá Túbọ̀sún Ọládàpọ̀, bó bá ṣe é ṣe, èmi gbìyànjú láti tú yín lẹ̀. While we are waiting for Chief Lekan Alabi, a veteran journalist, and Ekefa Olubadan, who is our guest today, I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce another of our special guests that I want her to have the opportunity to talk now, because we will all be wondering, this is our guest, Yeye Taiwo Lijadu. She was at the war front. Don't ask me why she was there, because I don't know. Obìnrin jagun, àmàlà lobìnrin rò nílé, but she was there with our dear sister, late Kehinde Lijadu. So I'm going to welcome Yeye Lijadu, Yeye Taiwo Lijadu, with this traditional greetings that she loves our tradition so much. Mo kí yín, Àṣàkẹ́, ọmọ Ìbírónkẹ́ Táyé Lolú Èjìrẹ́ ará Ìṣokùn, ẹdun gbálájá orí igi òde kílékún òde ẹ̀dẹ̀ tẹrùtẹrù, ará ọba àmàgbọ́n, ọmọ Korowá ọmọ Tagbátá, ọmọ ilẹ̀ gbẹ́rù lọ́ba, èyí gbókè ọba níyì kẹ́kẹ́kẹ́, ọmọ kò bí owú, ọmọ bó fẹ́ wà ó pọ̀ kó káragírí ṣiṣẹ́ dandan ni. Mo kí yín, I'm welcoming you. Yeye Taiwo Lijadu, you are welcome to Yoruba Gbode. So talk and let people hear you. Why were you there? You and Auntie Kehinde, what were you doing at the war front? And how old were you?
Ẹ ṣeun Yeye, mo kí gbogbo ilé o, ní bàbá ní Yeye, mo kí gbogbo wa. Ẹ̀yin ṣé mọ̀ pé obìnrin.
Auntie Taiwo, we are trying to speak English so we don't exclude our other part who don't speak Yoruba.
Okay, I thank all the fathers and mothers on the program, and especially you, Yeye, Olórúkọ mi Àṣàkẹ́, Yeye Ṣọlá, Yusuf, I would let you know that women went to war in the past. Oṣooṣì, ológun náà ni, obìnrin ni. In 1968, Governor Rotimi invited my twin sister and I to come meet him at his office. So we got there. My twin sister was pregnant with her first child. And the governor said,
how old were you guys then? Auntie Taiwo, how old were you?
We were 21 years old.
Okay.
So my twin sister was pregnant with her daughter, Eniton. And the governor looked at both of us and asked, are you with a child? My sister said yes. He did not flinch. He said, I want you both to go entertain wounded soldiers at the war front. And we said, how can we go and entertain wounded soldiers at the war front? How safe was that for us? He said, you'd be safe. He said, in fact, any territory that had been conquered would be where you go entertain wounded soldiers. And then he went on to say, well, if you agree with me, I would then tell you that you'll be conscripted into the army. And that whatever you own as Lijadu sisters will become the property of the army. I cannot see, will become the property of the army. Can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
You can still hear me.
Everybody all over the world.
So my sister said, how would that work? He said, you will belong to the army. My sister said, Egbon, Eshirini. His soldiers were ready to beat my sister. The governor said, no, don't touch her. I looked for the trouble. I'd been told that you don't get over them. You have to be cautious, you have to be respectful towards them, and they will be respectful towards you equally. He said, I was joking. Then we asked him how it would really work. He said, after a territory would have been conquered, then you will go there. Who were we going there with? We went there with the IGO band, Ibadan Garrison Organization Band, led by the late Captain Ibikunle Armstrong. So the arrangements were made, and my sister said, we have to sign a contract in which you will agree that no military man would point their fingers at us and say, come here. Go and bring me that girl. You don't talk to us with respect, I will slap you. My sister didn't understand any other language because we had experienced too much of the itemole, suppression by our men folk. Sorry, our fathers, we did experience those things. But, she also said that we had to be treated like officers, at the very least, like second lieutenant or full lieutenant. And it was agreed. And she also said that we had to be paid because we had to leave home, leave our family and go. And we didn't know if we were coming back. The contract was signed. Governor Rotimi respected us and we went to the war front. We are veterans. Yes, we are war veterans. We had seen a lot, quite a lot when we went.
Auntie Taiwo, before
Yes.
you go further, when I know at that time Mama and Baba were both alive, how did they feel? Because I would freak out. How did they feel?
I know. Our mom, well, we were not living with our dad at the time because they had separated in the 50s. But our mom was such a calm person. She believed in us. We were raised as Catholics. When we came back from the meeting with Governor Rotimi, she asked us, how do you feel? We said that based on the way he spoke to us, we felt that we were responsible to go and contribute our own quota as Nigerians. If the men could go and fight, this is not a matter of fight, it's a matter of consolation, to console those who had, lost lives, to console those who had lost limbs, to console those who had lost property and societies, and to bring love to the table for all of us. It was risky. Our mom went into what we would call novena at that time, like somebody fasting, like somebody doing Ifa work, special Ifa work. She had the novena for 2 weeks, praying for our safety and the safety of the band and everybody that went to war. She said, war is war. People die, people lose limbs. And we went.
So how long did you stay there?
My twin sister was like 5.5 to 6 months pregnant at the time we left. By the time we came back, it was just like we had 3 to 4 weeks of her delivery of the baby.
Wow, you are indeed veterans. Wow. Yes. I mean, that'll be about 3 months.
Yes.
Also, so where were you staying? Were there other women around there around that time?
That we saw?
Yes.
No.
You were the only women, and you were
We were the only women with the band. And whenever a place would be conquered, would be the only time we would seem to see women who would be catering at army barracks and all of that. Otherwise, we were going to go in the bush to see the people. The one time that we were moved to tears was when there was a truce called for one reason or the other. And we saw, like, from across a river, people on one side, the other people on the other side. The Biafrans were in front of us, we were in front of them, we were facing each other. And somebody would say, Chukwuemeka, you are here? Yes, oh Joseph, you are here too? Okay, may God save us. So we are not here to kill each other, but when they say we must go and fight war, war is war. Everybody will start crying.
Mm.
Everybody will start shedding tears. Everybody will start throwing gifts across.
Mm. So, I'm so sorry.
It was difficult.
Mm.
It was emotional. My sister being pregnant too. I was scared for her. I was scared for me.
Mm.
The band leader was a good man to us. Late Captain Ibikunle Armstrong, he was nice to us. He listened to us beyond how we felt that he would listen. There was a lot of discipline. And I'm glad that we joined, because part of the disciplines that we imbibed from that was the military discipline, along with our mother's discipline. We thought our mom was a disciplinarian. Oh, no. When you woke up to bathe in 1 minute. The next minute, your food is in front of you and you must swallow it in 1 minute and get ready to go.
Wow.
All of that.
Wow. Wow. So, do you remember any of the songs that you sang at that time?
Practically all the songs that we had written, and the songs from Miss Mariam Mekeba, from Nat King Cole, from Haruna Ishola, from everybody, from Babaike Dairu.
Can you sing us any of those that are relevant that you did? Can you sing some of us? Do you remember?
One particular song that a soldier had taught us. And by the way, that soldier was wounded, and he had only one possession in his life at that time, was a torchlight. And he gave us that torchlight. He said, I'm passing this light to you. Then this song, the Benua, you will find it on YouTube. Say,
did you say Bibenoa or Jibenoa?
Dibe-Nuwa, D-I-B-E N-U-W-A, Dibe-Nuwa. It means stay well in life. Just stay alive in life, in the world.
Can you sing it a little bit, Auntie Taiwo?
Yes. Iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amarimonye julo ya juju. Iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amarimonye julo ya juju. Abawe bezina, ebezina, ebezina. Abawe bezina, na mili aburo. Dibe, 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 nandidi kama, onye wangulu ya dibe nuwa, ndidi kama. I'm sorry, I am really emotional.
Okay.
That's all I can sing for now.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Auntie Taiwo. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and I'm glad that a lot of people are able to hear this, because we know that you are a veteran when it comes to music. We love you. We will never forget what you are doing in music. But very little people know that you were also a veteran at war. And I'm very, very happy that we have the opportunity to hear that and to know what you have done. Thank you so much. Please stay hang on with us a little bit more. We are in this together and we love you very much.
Thank you.
And I will, God bless you.
Thank
So
you,
we move on. Oloye, Baba Lekan Alabi, you are back. So I'm going to give people the opportunity to ask Chief Lekan Alabi questions about what he has talked about the war and what he didn't talk about. And also later, I'm going to call Baba Falola if he has anything to add, but I don't want to miss the opportunity of people who want to ask questions. Adeyinka, so Adeyinka, I can hear you. Oda, please, if you have a question, raise up your hand. So at this junction, I'm going to call people to ask questions. If people are not ready for questions, I'm going to call Baba Falola if he's still here with us. Question, okay. Baba Falola. Okay. Baba Falola is here. I'm going to let him contribute, then I will call Alagba Fola Jogun to ask Baba Oloye Lekan Alabi question. Baba Falola, you have the floor. Okay. Baba Falola, mo ti tú yín lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin ẹ máa túra yín lẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín. Mo ti tú yín lẹ̀ o. Mi ò rí yín lórí fídíò, mi ò sì rí yín lórí. Baba Falola, please unmute so we can hear you. Baba Falola, Professor Tony Falola. Okay. Oda, ẹnìkan náwó, mi ò gbúrò Baba Falola, mi ò mọ tó ṣe. Okay, Alàgbà Fọlájogún Olúwajánà. Mo ti tú yín lẹ̀, ẹ túra yín lẹ̀ o. Ẹ ṣé.
Good evening, everybody. And I thank our guest of honor tonight for going over this nasty period in our history. I read quite a little bit of the books written after the war. My command by General Obasanjo, and a very good one, Sunset in Biafra. I think it's one by one of the British journalists who covered the war. I can't remember his full name, but I think it was Frederick Forsyth. So my just one simple question to our guest. Do you think Ojukwu was right in insisting that the agreement on Aburi is what should be followed?
Yes, as I said, and I will continue to say, Ojukwu was well prepared for the Aburi conference. he had set up committees and they had given him papers. So when they got to Aburi, January 4, 1967, he dominated the meeting. The second day, January 5th, 1967, he repeated the same thing. He was just bringing up papers from his briefcase, prepared. With due respect, the federal government team appeared to be on safari. Even though
so they went there for a sightseeing.
It was a brother-to-brother thing. To pat himself down the back. Don't be offended. Sorry about the incident. Bye-bye. Ojukwu was bringing out fundamental issues. If we are going back to Nigeria to unite and work together under what terms and conditions? Those were the things that led to the autonomy, which they said the military commands in the regions were enjoyed under the authority of the military governors. Many other things. So what are the lessons of the war? One of the lessons is that when you are going for a serious assignment, please be prepared. If you are not, get somebody who's prepared to take over. Of course, Nigeria in the past, we have been using this approach of laissez-faire, and we just say we are brothers. We are not brothers in certain areas. So issues must be treated and ironed out, and once agreements are signed, they become binding. And that is what happened when they go back to
Exactly. That's my real point. So are you, in your own opinion, do you think Ojukwu was right there to insist on that agreement?
It was drafted by the secretaries of the regional governments and that of the federal government. It was read to all the parties, and the leader of military leader of Ghana came to the meeting and read it over and asked them twice, "Gentlemen, do you agree with this?" And they said yes. So why will you now untie it on getting to your destination? It was right, dead right.
That was my impression on reading both Frederick Forsyth's account, and that well, this man was actually, as you say, he had MA from Oxford, so he's very knowledgeable and he knows what he's doing. And I think, and it's a big lesson for us, even as Yoruba Gbode, as we are still discussing now, that whatever we want to do, we need to be well prepared. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Leza, I have a question for you.
Okay,
Oloye, is it true that Ojukwu had a fundamental ambition to be a head of state? That he was all the while positioning himself one way or the other to be a head of state, like the president of a country, a head of state, like they said he even joined the military because of that. Is that true?
Oh, yes. He didn't start with us. Political ambition from secondary school through university. And he was seeing himself as a future head of state. So when he told his father that he was going to join the army, the father said, no, over his dead body. Which means they were watching him that he had political ambition. And then the Aburi thing was his golden opportunity. Because Eastern region that they now said was Biafra, they had what today we now see as the minorities, Ijo, the Niger Delta people, Asikadaboro type, and all that. Before, we thought Northern region was Hausa, Western Nigeria, Yoruba, until they cut Western Nigeria into Midwest out of it, the security Igbo. Eastern region we thought was Igbo. It was the war that now made us to know that there were Calabaris, Ijos, and Co. So, did Ojukwu carry these people along before declaring Biafra? Because everywhere in this country, there have been oppressions. Port Harcourt was dominated by the Igbo, all the assets. So when the war broke out, shortly before the war, and they abandoned their properties and all that, the Rivers people moved into most of the buildings, unlike what? Huh?
No, I'm just laughing. I'm laughing.
Unlike what happened in the Western region and Lagos. You remember the famous case between Otumba Shuomi Balogun and his neighbor?
And the former vice president.
Thank you. What did Otumba Shuomi Balogun do? He got a
kept
tenant,
the property. Yes.
Opened an account, which happened in Bogo, Keadua, and Okewala. When the Igbos were returning, the Yorubas were giving them their bank passbooks. This is your property. This is how much you rented your property. This is your money. It was then they made captain. Then it was a captain, David Mark. David Mark was the chairman of the properties settlement committee in River State, taking over properties taken over by the non-Ijos and co. So they felt they were oppressed. When the 12 states structure came out and they gave them their states, Cross River, Unicorn River, they were waving. That is why Port Harcourt was the underbelly of Biafra. Immediately, Benjamin Dekule and his troops liberated Port Harcourt, they broke the back of Biafra because the minorities said, welcome, thank God. Otherwise, why would Major Adaka Boro declare a Republic of Niger Delta?
Right.
At the risk of life. Ojukwu didn't spare any opposition. No? That's why Major Victor Banjo went with the tide. If you oppose Ojukwu, you are going. Azikiwe in his book wrote what he called the excesses of Emeka Ojukwu. Because he was saying it's either you listen, obey, or you go to the firing squad. So Ojukwu ambitious. And this is what is a paradox about Nigeria. Ojukwu, who led a rebellion where millions of lives were lost, now said he was going for the solution in Côte d'Ivoire. Settled there, became a transporter, married or remarried, started enjoying social life. And what happened? National Party of Nigeria, looking for cheap popularity, now said, come, return to Nigeria. We will grant you pardon, but you will contest for the Senate under our party. You returned. In some countries, you don't return and come to political limelight anymore. The people must say you that really, this is our leader. He suffered and still suffering. So you can see.
I'm sure.
I'm not condemning.
I'm sure.
I'm not condemning. We are recalling history here, actualities. We all know it's like a film now. And the former beauty queen, the father of the beauty queen said, over his dead body, I want to marry.
And I'm sure, Oloye, that was why he lost that senatorial seat, because the Igbos were not pleased with him. They thought it was a betrayal when he arrived. They lost that senatorial seat in grand style. And also, sir, if you have a minute, I'd like you to do me a favor, plus the other viewers that we have. We've always wondered about how Fajui died. I know at one time in a private conversation, I know you had told me that you actually saw the room where Fajui was abducted. Because of your place in the government house and having worked with a number of governors. Could you give us an account of that?
I work with just four governors, just four. Chibola,
just four. Did you say just four?
I said, be number 1, 2, 3, 4.
I didn't work with any. You work with just four.
So could you give us
1, 2, 3, 4?
Could you give us an account?
Retired Major General Popola, retired Brigadier General Adetunji Olurin, and the late Brigadier General Shasha Eniyan Oresonya. Oh God, they were gentlemen officers. Gentlemen officers. Made to sign bond. GO. You will not be a proxy to any contractor. You must not. And they didn't give us GRA land. They didn't allocate us GRA land.
They were serious.
They will direct you to go and see the Secretary of Military Government and Head of Service. They will just open the procedure, page what, and give you a copy. Read it. That's what the law says. You stand up and say, thank you, sir.
So the question again about Adekunle Fajui. I mean, if you can talk about it, if you can't, it's fine. But you know,
I am the pioneer honorary secretary Adekunle Fajui Foundation. By that, we were able to see the inner recess of the Fajui family and the hero Adekunle Fajui. When we celebrated this is 2021, we celebrated the 45th anniversary 6 years ago. The younger sister who had come from Adokiti to meet her Egbo, she wanted to travel to the US. And since our brother was now the military governor of Western region, she came automatic. Adekunle Fajui sat her down. You will have to apply for passport. The cabinet office may assist you. The other uncle who came for contract, Adekunle Fajui told him, in military law, when you return from war, you must not embark on any construction or anything material, otherwise you are polluted. So the house he was building in Adokiti stopped. That house was completed by former governor of Lagos State during one of the anniversaries. The one who came to the sister, those were the witnesses because they were at the party the night before. They had the things they recorded, the conversation between Fajui and Ironsi asking Fajui, am I safe? And the uncle, the brother that came also had, because what they wanted to do was to be near their relation, that is the military governor, as much as possible, so that tomorrow, because he will leave home early for the office, no smashment. So they wanted to use the opportunity. You could see them. He stopped his building. The white man who came to his office with bribe, foreign currency, because Nigeria was still using pound and co. Fajui bossed the Secretary of Military Government, Baba P.T. Odumosu, to come in. Sit down. He now asked the white man, yes, I was not listening properly. Yes, what do you say you have? The briefcase was taken. He said, give it to the SMG. SMG, take it to Treasury. Treasury.
These people were Spartan soldiers, and I think we had a spillover of them in the likes of Shasheni or Sonia and some of the people that you had worked with, some of those fine gentlemen officers.
Yes. And Chibalage too, disciplinarian. Chibalage, we went there. I was, we went seconded to him in 1983 from the television service of Oyo State to handle his publicity on television. And TSOS was still paying my salary. Even while there, our boss was the then Mr. Yemi Farumbi, now Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farumbi. And what Uncle Bola would tell us was, Emusuro, by the grace of God, we are going to win. Then we will sit down, calculate your salaries and entitlement. Even the road, Ijesha Road, he said it will be in the second term. You can see them, Spartan discipline. Bolage was an ardent follower of his leader, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. They were human beings, they were not angels, but if you put their performances, character, integrity, skill level, you will say they are angels. They are angels.
So what can you say now about, can you recount how Fajui died? I heard he died a Spartan death. Fajui.
Thank you. as I said, in my position as Honorary Secretary at Dekule Faji Foundation, may the souls of his children rest in peace. Femi. And when people was in London, because they invited us to the foundation, Professor Makunwagu, Seriki Hausa, Dr. Kulio Lajide, and co. So at our first meeting, we said, please tell us the principal we want to, because we are going to raise a 500 million naira foundation to be the library, center, old annual lectures, and co. Abacha stopped it. Abacha stopped our proposal, but we went ahead. We went ahead. July 29, 1996. We went ahead. So they told us, even at the war front, because Congo, he won the quiz medal, right, and he became friendly with Iransi. They said he operated strictly under military law. Military law. The first military governor, today there are about 7 states carved out of Western region. Everything was no excesses. No excesses. Everything must be done according to the law. And you remember the good civil service, that their GO. Oh God, civil servants, they have always been the backbone, not only in Nigeria, anywhere, particularly Britain, where they must be seen and not heard. And they are efficient writers, civil servants. When they write paragraph 1 to 4, they are trying to tell you, because at the end they will just say, please give your directive or something. And and they will say, you may please wish to approve. So with that military man, Fajuyi was straightforward. That's why when they broke into the government house, same government house, I was there with 4 governors, remember? 83 to 89.
Yes, sir.
And Danjuma and co led the rebels into the sitting room, and they saluted Fajuyi. Sir, we're not here for you. Where's that man? That's who they have come for. So they went to drag Ironsi from upstairs down. The move is epaulets, dress, and Fajuyi was shouting. And he told them, you didn't take him in the north because he visited the north. You didn't take him in the east. You didn't take him in the Midwest. No, you cannot take him in my territory. His helicopter will soon be here to convey him to Lagos. Please go and finish your matter in Lagos. And you know, every minute counted. Military coup. When they saw that he was insisting on being loyal to his host and boss, they were not using commander-in-chief then. It was supreme commander. At them job, they pushed him into the Land Rover, straight to Lalupo. And again, we must give credit to the immediate past governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, because he worked with our foundation and the League of Veteran Journalists. League of Veteran Journalists will hold annual Adekule Fajuyi lecture at our no expense. So they constructed cenotaph. The day they were going to do the foundation laying ceremony of the cenotaph, the son of Ironsi, who was Nigeria's ambassador under Obasanjo's second government, was present. And the same spot under that palm tree, they didn't know that a tapper was on top of the tree. The cookies. Oh. And they didn't know. So he saw everything. It was he who now ran to the town to tell them, they beat Ironsi and Fajuyi, tortured them, and gave them, dig your grave. Dig your grave.
Who was the most senior officer that led that onslaught?
Danjuma, Major Danjuma. I think it was a captain.
Okay. I'm going to take this opportunity to ask one question, then I will go to my other atokun, Abolaji Ayobami. But Babale Kalabi, can you tell us the saying that we were hearing after the war. What happened at Ore? Exactly.
The major, the Yoruba major, Ekiti man, I think he died about 2 years ago. And so I heard, Major Ladipo, because we featured him on my radio program at Space 90.1 FM on Sundays. We call it Evergreen. We will call people, role models to the program. They will tell us their background, their virtues. So when we invited him to this program, 2 hours on Sundays. And he said, but for the bravery of the officers, Ojukwu had the intention to overrun Bende, Midwestern region, cross to Western region, Ore, take over Lagos, and run that belt of this country from Enugu as the supreme commander.
Lagos no be Igbo.
Huh?
Lagos no be Igbo land. I be waiting to do am.
When some plans don't happen, you must thank God and you must thank the heroes, people who work behind the scenes. So they faced, it was a matter of life and death, because Ojukwu had given mandate to, he said he was suspecting Major Victor Banjo that he would turn coach, and the penalty was death. And Banjo, Nzegu, and Co, they were telling Ojukwu, this is not the principle of the January 15th coup. The speech, which should be on the internet Google, the speech of Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzegu, that they were going to wipe all the corrupt 10%ers. That's how you qualify them, military civilian. And he had resolved to go to Calabar prison, bring Obafemi Awolowo out of prison, take him to Lagos, install him as prime minister, give him military backbone. So if Awolowo government stabilizes within 1 year, he will sign off his commission in the Nigerian army, and go to South Africa, Rhodesia, to go and fight apartheid. That was the man. True revolutionary. 2 days to the January 15, 1966 coup, Premier Ladoke, Samuel Ladoke, capital of Western region, was speaking intelligence report. He flew to Kaduna to go and brief Ahmadu Bello. Something spooky. Ahmadu Bello had gone to Lesser Heart. So he came, he waited for him. When he returned, he now told him, Ahmadu Bello said, go and sleep, go and rest. Go and rest. So he escorted Akintola back to the airport. The driver of Sardauna, I think he died a few years ago, he was interviewed. And he said, when they were driving Akintola to the airport, because it was during Ramadan, Sardauna Bello was seeing the sports car of Muzogu parked along the airport road. Sardauna was saying something like, Sardauna, because they said Sardauna took Muzogu like a son. They were very close. 2 days to their own 15th coup, they were getting the feelers. And some people are developing code feet as to go and do the operation in the Arewa House, where the premier was lodged, Premier Ahmadu Bello. To go and execute the plan, because Iransi, all of them were marked for elimination. Are you afraid? Nobody wants to stay in Kaduna and do the beginning of the state back. That's why he went in with a grenade and told his boys, if after 15 minutes I don't reappear, bring this building down on all of us. So having fished out Ahmadu Bello, who had gone in the RM to hide with his Elehas, after making sure that he had finished Ahmadu Bello, he jumped from the state. That's why his hand was in a sling on January 15th photograph. It was Hassan Usman Kassina who was holding the microphone of the BBC for Muzo. So they were two revolutionaries. And I interviewed Major Ademoyega for NTV Badon, my program, Speak Out, at the University of Ife, where he had come to give a lecture. And of course, he wrote a book, Why We Struck. So the details are there. They were committed because they had become violated by the system. Nigeria, Western region was burning. Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa was calling Commonwealth Conference over Rhodesia in Lagos. And these are the excuses of people who are supposed to go to the East to handle the operation there. They said Archbishop Bakarios of Greece, who had come for the Commonwealth Conference, had gone to Premier Okpara, and they were handicapped because they don't want any harm to come to inform. So when the thing was opening into the Nigerian eyes and ears, it was Premier Northern Region assassinated, Premier Western Region assassinated, Prime Minister, Minister of Finance. What about this region? That gave the coup the coloration that it was an Igbo coup. Igbo Gong was not the original planner. It was Ife Ajuna. They only brought in revolutionaries like them. So if it had been federal in operation, perhaps there wouldn't have been a counter coup of July 29, 1966, led by Murtala Mohammed. And they named it Araba in their language. Outside they say Araba means dividing things equally. Revenge.
Araba de Deni.
I don't speak Hausa. Revenge. And the intention was revenge. They had got 2 airplanes from the British High Commission, through the British High Commission, from British Airways and another, standing by at Murtala, it was a Keja Airport, to evacuate their families. Why they will go by road? Passing Jebba Bridge to the other side, they will blow it up. And the intention was, bye-bye, Nigeria. It was the speech that Murtala Mohammed was going to read that the British High Commissioner and the American ambassador edited and were telling them, where are you going? You want to secede? There's no port. There's no cargo landing. You haven't had any link with your Egypt and Libya brothers. They amended it. In the hurry, they forgot that page where Yakubu Gowon was held to a corner by Ojukwu and others. A paragraph, the basis for unity is no longer there. The basis for unity is no longer there because it was Araba, not by Nigeria.
Oga. Abọ́lájí Ayọ̀bámi atọ́kùn Yorùbá Gbòde ẹ béèrè ìbéèrè díẹ̀ lẹ́yìn náà alàgbà Túnjí Àtẹ́wọ́lógún wọ́n béèrè ìbéèrè ẹ jẹ́ á máa tètè mú kí àwọn ará Ìbàdàn ó lè tètè lọ sùn. Ẹ ṣeun.
Thank you, our guest. Thank you for this in-depth knowledge and in-depth exposition. There is something that I want to really ask you to expound on for our viewers. I appreciate that you mentioned what happened with Cardinal Nziogu, and that it was Ibrahim that even initiated the coup, was just brought in. But one thing that I want you to expose was that, as at that time, history said that Agui Ronsi was part of the Brigade of Guard in the Buckingham Palace before he come back to Nigeria. I was trying to find out, is it not that these schools were also a masterminded thing from the British government who doesn't want to leave Nigeria, that uses that opportunity to get him in and take over and bring the unitary system of government instead of the parliamentary that we are using?
Yes, thank you. During at the start of the war, British Petroleum, because of their economic interests. That is why the producer of the radio program in Ibadan that we attended, the thing has gone viral now, Edmond Obilo. It was he titled the program Aburi 2021. Using Aburi 1967 as the launch pad, so that we should be cautious. History must not repeat itself where blood, lives, and things will be wasted. Economic interests of Britain was supreme to them. And like all these so-called superpowers, they don't love us.
No.
It is our economic interest. So we must be careful not to play into their hands. They were studying the situation at the start of the war. The war started 1967. British Petroleum was paying royalty to Lagos. When they were hearing that the Biafrans were getting support from France and 2 other countries, Ivory Coast and Co., they said, pay them too, pay Enugu. So as they were paying Lagos royalty, they were paying Enugu, that wherever the scale fell, will still be theirs. So you can't rule out the interest, economic interest of Britain and any other superpower today. It is not for our interest, so is whatever you like, kill yourself, you take over your assets. So that the British, they knew things were wrong. That is why that gentleman, Mr. Smith, who was an assistant DO, thank God to internet and co. It was during the era of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. They didn't grant him the license to publish his report or account of Nigeria. Anyway, eventually, the news magazine got the text and ran the series of Mr. Smith. He said they rigged the 1959 election in favor of the North because Action Group had a policy, social democracy or something, that was akin to the former Soviet Union. So they were afraid that Chief Obafemi Awolowo, if this one became prime minister, he's going to take Nigeria to the rank, to the sea. So that gentleman exposed everything, how they manipulated the results, and how they saw from the time of Mr. Freddie Lugard, he had labeled the Yorubas as being too arrogant. And you know, in the world today, if some people see their equal peer, they will become jittery. You cannot lead such a person by the nose. So they said, rather than Awolowo, give it to the North. And since then, that is the card the British have been playing. Anywhere they go or ever colonize and rule, is divide and rule, and they are seeking who is going to get that prize.
Okay, sir.
Please.
Another question is that the aim, you said the aim was that the Nzeguku was to bring Awolowo from Calabar prison and install him.
Yes, install him as prime minister.
Prime minister. But
yes.
Because the people in the eastern region, most of the people that are running the eastern part of the region escaped. Like, for example, Ezekiel was not around, and people were saying because they have given him information about it, so you have to go on the medical something to run away from Nigeria. But one thing that
when you go on sea with ship, what do they call it? That's what he went. Cruise.
On cruise.
Cruise.
So it was. People say maybe he was informed that this thing is going to happen. That's why he went on cruise, or was this coincidental? Dr.
Nnamdi Azikiwe, Now, all of us who are alive, we must be beware of history and posterity. History is not kind to nobody, and doesn't. Is going to history as long as it's not colored or inferior to it. As if we had been suspecting Ojukwu that this hot head. They said there was a conversation one day, and Zik tried to say it to his face, and Ojukwu denied. I'm sworn to the allegiance of Nigeria. Why? No, I don't. I'm not contemplating that. But some people are telling Zik it's going to happen. So he went on cruise. Even though Ojukwu did not know anything about January 15, 1966. Even in his book, Kaduna Nzebu and interviews, he slept on the same bed with Major Olusegun Obasanjo, his best friend. And he tiptoed out of the room, January 15, to go and take action. Because he had told the subalterns, the soldiers because they were practicing, and it said they were doing one exercise. He named the exercise outside language, so that they will not suspect or catch them. And he didn't tell him. He didn't tell Obasanjo to tell you the sincerity of Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzebu, a revolutionary. His mother pestered him. Kaduna, marry and let me have your baby, grandchild. He will say, I will marry. He didn't marry. Because he was determined as a revolutionary. True revolutionaries, first of all, we carry out liberation of a people before personal interest and luxury. He said it. Interviewed. He wrote and said, once our government stabilizes, he will resign his commission in the Nigerian army, leave Nigeria, and go and fight apartheid. See, he didn't leave any assets when he died.
Alàgbà Túnjí Àtẹwọ́lógún, I'm going to let you ask your question, then I'm going to invite Alàgbà Dípò Akínsíkù. All right.
Hello.
Alàgbà Àtẹwọ́lógún, I'm going you.
Greetings to everybody. I'm so grateful to be part of this situation. And send my greetings to Baba Iloge too. I hope he can hear me very well. Baba Oloye, I want to take you to a little memory lane. 1974, I was in St. James's Okebola playing fullback as the playing the final Thunder Balogun Cup with Aberdeen. And then the patron of my school then, Chief Lekon Salami, of Yellow Journalism, bought our jersey, the one for ICC, Shooting Stars. And when we got the call, there was one journalist, prominent, standing by his side and congratulating us. I think it was you. It was a long time. I can picture you by that side very well at that time. That's just to go to memory lane on the way the first time I know you, 1974. I was 13 years old.
Yes, I was a staff of Daily Sketch Publishing Company Limited.
Yes, they are the one that captured us that day with the cup, and we had the jersey, the ICC jersey, which Chief Lekon Salami bought for us, of Yellow Journalism.
May so rest in peace.
Yes, sir. The ICC Shooting Stars at that time went to play in Enugu. There was one man, Baba Eleron, who was usually in the Liberty Stadium. And he said this one day at Olubadan. When Segun Odegbami was moving the ball, he said, Segun, Suti, Sukumombo, your Saubale. Suku came. Usually, Suku Sabale, Loto.
Mr. Atewalo, you're going to be in trouble. And you are working yourself towards big trouble. Go ahead.
However, when we went to Enugu, initially, ICC played draw, and there was, on a penalty kick, only one goal from the Rangers. Underground, there was a lot of trouble over there in Enugu. But there were more cooperation, and a lot of people decided to come together. Is sport enough to be a place or a situation that could bring different dichotomies together in this kind of Nigeria problem? Sir, Oloye.
Sports, generally all over the world, any competition must be won by the side that is better trained or has more goals or marks. Because the essence of sports is that you have trained, you have practiced, and you have come, and there must be fair referee. So that's why they said, well, if you win, good luck to you. If you lose, don't get disappointed. Try next time. So in that spirit, that was the spirit between Western Nigerian Development Corporation team, WNDC, IICC,
yes,
that later grew, and today is the 3SC. 3SC was coined by Baba Adeboye Onigbide.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to say, history cannot be judged. Shooting Stars qualified for the great cup then called Africa Champions Cup 1984, December in Lagos.
Yes, play with
so you can see that the politics, if they bring too much politics into politics, the real one, without fairness, integrity, and hope, that's why we are ending wherever we end.
The game was played with Samalek of Egypt.
Thank you. And they are performed so well in Egypt. First leg.
Yeah, in Egypt.
They took them to Alexandria, where temperature was almost zero. Yet Shooting Stars did their best. Yeah. So we thought the second leg in Nigeria would be a walkover. That was the era of Balbalun Tafio, I was press secretary to the military governor. I was the press secretary to the then Colonel Olada Okukwala, today a retired Major General. Everybody put everything they had into that match so that Shooting Stars can win that cup, having won the first Continental Cup for Nigeria, the Wafu Cup. What did we see? Tinkering. Inside tinkering. I'm sorry, he's dead today. May so rest in peace. Omerua was the Minister of Sports. And what did the military governor and Chief Lekan Salami and other people not do? To ask the minister, why are you taking the match away from Liberty Stadium
in Port Harcourt,
the home base of Shooting Stars? Why are you taking it to National Stadium? And they told him, the Egyptians, their government, because they also counted on this match, they took Shooting Stars to the extreme end of Egypt. They said, no, that's the final decision. Okay, why are you taking it to? They said, because It's a Continental Cup, and it must be played on national stadium territory. Okay, good luck. What did we see? Hostility against Shooting Stars by the crowd. If Shooting Star player got the ball, it was boo. If the Egyptian got it, it was a psychological defeat for the Shooting Star players. And when the opportunity of that penalty came, remember, it was the first goal of the Egyptians was an own goal.
Yes.
By a Shooting Star player who had passed to the goalkeeper. Okay?
Yeah.
Penalty. Shooting Stars. Referee now said, no. The goalkeeper moved. Goalkeeper, you moved. Egyptian goalkeeper. Oh yeah, repeat. And they were pushing themselves. Everybody was looking at them. They played it to the hand of the keeper. To put a long story short, Shooting Stars lost that match. Even though it went again to record the second victory for this country by winning by beating Nakibo from Uganda at Lake Salami Sports Complex in Ibadan. What am I saying? When it is a matter of national honor for this country, fairness must be brought to the fore. Why did they take the match to national stadium? Okay. So the season started again. The first match that Shooting Stars played after the Zamalek disaster in Surulere, they beat their opponent 11 goals to nothing. 11 goals to nothing. And people are saying, Liberty. But if it is for the glory of Nigeria, we must work together.
Yes.
And that is why the United States of America appears to be the greatest nation in the world, because they want to claim the best, the fastest, the tallest, the everything. And everybody, all countries have internal politics. But once it comes to national issue, so there was rivalry between Shooting Stars and Rangers. Incidentally, Rangers made Chief Leko Salami a life patron. Because Baba Salami was dedicated to the sport called soccer.
Yes, soccer.
Baba, thank you so much. And thank you, Alagba Atewologun. If you're just coming in, this is Yoruba Gbode Media. Our guest is Oloye Lekan Alabi Ekefa Olubadan, and also a veteran journalist who has put in so many honorable decades into journalism. And I wanted to say a little but when you are not looking at the chart, Oloye Lekan Alabi, but Professor Amidu Sani, he wrote something and he said, yeah, we were both the foundation member of television, and he said, I didn't know it was Rashidi at that time. So why didn't a lot of people know that you are Rashidi?
By the grace of God Almighty, I have, as I'm talking to you now, Abdul Rashid. Why will I deny my religion? I am a Muslim, but I am a liberal Muslim. My wife is the daughter of the Baba Jo Anglican Church, Ilaro, Abaladito. I don't deal with people based on religion, but based on godliness.
Yes.
Everybody must have a religion. Yes.
Okay, Badara Shidi, Alagba Dipo Akishiku, do you have a contribution? We're talking about Nigerian civil war. What went wrong? Lesson learned. You are on. I mute and I Etura yin le o, Mikau. It's not me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, earlier on, there was a discussion as to why Dr. Azikwe could not form an alliance with Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the Action Group. There has been a discussion that Zik did not want the alliance simply because he preferred to work with the North. And that's because he knew at the time that the North was educationally disadvantaged. So he felt that sidelining the Western region would be better for his people. And that's exactly what we did. And if you look at the activities of Igbos at that time, most of the important posts went to them because they have more educated people. So what people are saying is that that was most of the overriding decision why he decided to work with the North rather than the Western region, which of course at that time, educationally, we are even at par with the East, if not well above them. What is your opinion about that?
Thank you. As of today, the interview granted by the late Dr. M. Michael Iheanacho Opara, Premier of Western Region, who took over from Zik, is still online. The headline of the interview is "My Greatest Political Blunder."
Yeah,
Opara. And what was the blunder? He said he was part of the people that advised Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe not to work with Obafemi Awolowo. Don't form an alliance with him. It can be read now. He said it was his greatest political blunder. And it's part of the thing I've just said now, while talking about shooting stars. Let us leave personal grievances away. National interest first. Imagine if Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe had agreed to work with Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who volunteered to be the deputy, Minister of Finance. And we saw the wonders he did not only with Western region, but the federal government. Nigeria did not borrow a kobo to prosecute the war all over the world. Little wonder, Aaron Wisi said Obafemi Awolowo can rule Britain. So they knew that Obafemi has got this. But above all, that thing called Spartan discipline. It will later come to light from the mouth of Chuba Okadigbo, written, which can be Googled and sourced as we are talking now. Okadigbo said the so-called they told Zik that this man, Obafemi Awolowo, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't socialize. And he said it was over 30 years that he saw the lapse of a woman last. This one, they had to work with you. Are those the issues? Personal conviction of a man not to drink, not to smoke, not to womanize, not to socialize. But when it comes to work, he said it, when others are cavorting around with loose women, I am busy at my table, working out the problems. So you will now see that for personal, social, tribal, religious reasons, then come to look at it. 1983 election, the so-called then Kaduna Mafia, then led by Shehu Musa Yaradua of blessed memory, and the radical, the Prince of Katsina, Dr. Bala Usman, later Professor Bala Usman, and other radicals met and had a meeting with Obafemi Awolowo. Now we are ready to work with you, but under the following conditions. They listed the conditions, the ministries they want to control, and they agreed. So when Umaru Diko started blabbing on here that this is not only a landslide victory, but a mudslide victory and all that, everybody was convinced that let us give this man a chance so that he doesn't die. And people will be saying, if only you had let Awolowo rule. So you can see now, it's gone. Hence, Chief Odume Gojuku now said, the best president Nigeria never had. Okpara said it was the greatest blunder, his greatest political blunder, convincing Zik not to work an alliance with Awolowo. But even if they worked, even if they would die, everybody would die at the appointed time. Ideals and ideas don't die. More so, Awolowo had written more than enough to guide governments, even individuals. His book, The People's Republic, the answers are there. Like the book of another enema, African Evolution. He was Nigeria's first minister of social welfare, and he wrote it, mineral resources of this country, and now we should work. He said, at that time, they were trying to replace Dr. Trenchard, the British. They were using principal then, University College Ibadan. And some people are using card, man knows man. Adelabu said, whoever was going to take over must be chosen on merit. I try to quote him now. I want the son of the coal miner in Enugu, the Fulani herder in Kano, the son of the farmer in Ilefe, and the son of the farmer in Ibadan to compete based on merit.
What do you think then informed Aguiyi Ironsi to pursue Decree 34? Because some people have argued that this notion of potential Igbo domination of the federal government was a continuation that led to the enactment of Decree 34. Which of course, then at that time, if you look at the civil service, most of the top posts were held by the Igbos. So Aguiyi thought that it will continue to be in the best interest of the Igbos. And that's why he enacted Decree 34, which of course almost abolished the regional system of government, more or less.
Thank you, sir.
That weakened the regions, because 34 actually weakened the regions.
Sir, do you know the chief mover of Decree 34? He's alive. The chief mover, Professor Wabweze, who is related to Ironsi.
Yeah.
And they were following the statement of Zik that the Igbo domination of Nigeria is only a matter of time.
Exactly.
And as I said at the beginning of this program, and it is empirical, written evidence to show that the Igbos. Okay, let me quote Amadou Sadana Bello. Radio interview by BBC. The man asked him, Amadou Bello, why do you want to employ fellow Nigerians on contract basis? Contract. Amadou Bello, voice said, if you give an Igbo man 1 foot, he's going to take 3 steps. We would rather employ outsiders as contract staff than take Igbo. From the mouth of Amadou Bello.
Yeah.
So all of us, all the tribes in this country, they have their nuances. There is no utopian tribe, but once you come to table, everybody must submit to what they call constitution, fairness, equity, balance. No tribe in this country is superior to the other. Thank God for those who did not register number plate. Because of who said, born to rule, rule to born. Basis, unity. The unity must be based on merit. Merit, equality. So there should be no domination.
Baba Adeboye, I saw your hand again. I'm not sure whether it's the one you had before or it's a new one, Baba Adeboye, because we are getting ready to go to bed. Baba Adeboye, ṣé ọwọ́ tẹ́ ti nà ní àbí ọwọ́ mi? Professor Adeboye. Oh, okay. Oda.
Auntie Tai, are you seeing me?
Auntie Taiwo Litadu.
How are you?
Àbúrò mi kọ́, Dr. Isioye, your dentist.
Dr. Isioye is supposed to be here.
Shewa.
Àbúrò mi mọ̀ ni.
Ẹ mọ̀ mọ̀ pàbúrò yìí ni Auntie Taiwo lẹ́kí àwọn ọmọ kí n padà.
Ní òkè dada.
Àwọn lókè dada mọ̀ mọ̀ ẹ́ ṣe torí pàwọ́ àjọ ológun làwà ní sọ pàbúrò wa ni mọ́. Àbúrò wa ni ṣùgbọ́n Auntie Taiwo ni wọ́n ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀.
Àní mo ń kí Auntie Taiwo.
Èmi náà kí yín padà.
Àjọ ń kíra wa ni. Ṣé ẹ pé kọ́lọ̀ ni? Ẹ̀yin àti olóyè Àlàbí ṣe ẹ pé kọ́lọ̀ aṣọ ni.
Wọ́n lẹ́yìn àti olóyè Àlàbí wọ́n ní ṣe pé kọ́lọ̀ aṣọ ni.
Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ sọ fún wa káà náà wọ kọ́lọ̀ ni.
The same aṣọ lájọ wọ.
Ẹ̀yin mọ́.
Bóyá olóyè Àlàbí ti máa wọ̀ bí wọ́n ti máa fún wọn tánu o. Wọ́n èé gbà ní kékeré. Ojúlówó ni wọ́n máa ń ṣe.
Ẹ̀yin náà ńkọ́. Ẹ̀yin náà ńkọ́.
So,
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
So, for people who have been with us, if you look at the time now, we have spent 3 hours.
Shola,
Eh?
please, as you are bringing this program to an end, please let those who saw war and the evils, let them speak out. As I said, my father and my family lived 86 Owerri Road, Asata, Enugu, 1969, after the liberation of Enugu. If you saw the way they were, like the Jews did to, like the Nazis did to the Jews, and the Jews are now doing to the Palestinians. If you didn't have a pass, they will first of all kneel down. Whatever your age and duty and all that, you will kneel down. And you start to negotiate with federal troops and the policemen. Because food was rationed. For those who had passes, they could come to the federal center and eat. Without is dehumanizing. The Igbos, because of their ingenuity, they bury their cars underground in the abandoned houses. And we must give it to them. How they caught up and shot past other Nigerians economically in this country after that war is still a mystery.
Thank you. Thank you. Auntie Taiwo was talking about this song that she and her twin sisters sang when they were at the war front, which was really very, very deep. I'm going to let us listen to it for about a minute or two. She has directed us to the YouTube. But before we get to that, I wanted to take this opportunity to announce to our people that Yoruba Gbode will be having summer camp, virtual summer camp. During this summer camp, we are going to be teaching Yoruba online. You know, we already have a Yoruba school and we do teach Yoruba, but this one that we are going to do during summer is going to be different and is going to be special because during the course of 2 weeks, for about 2 hours, which we make 8 hours in a week, your children at any age will be learning. We'll be learning about we'll be learning how to speak Yoruba language. We are going to be dealing with conversational language, what they can use when they go to places in Nigeria. We are going to be doing that during that summer camp. We are going to be having a section that we call the Yoruba Heroes. We are going to bring our heroes to life. Ogunmola Olodogbo Keriri Loju Ogun in Ibadan. Ogedengbe Agbogungboro Nile Ijesha. Lishabi Ilegba. Our children have to know their heroes, who they can emulate, what were good about them during that time. We are going to be doing that. Very importantly, Auntie Taiwo Lijadu will be coming to give our children folklore stories, with music. And you know, she is the best among the women that sing in Nigeria.
Thank you, yeah.
So let's listen to this.
Iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amaloye tulomi ajuju. Iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amaloye tulomi ajuju. Iyo go, abawe bezina, ebezina, ebezina, abawe bezina, na mili abolomu. Dibe, ndidi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ndidi kama dibe, ya didi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ya didi kama dibe, ndidi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ndidi kama dibe, ya didi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ndidi kama dibe, ndidi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ndidi kama iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amano yitulu ya juju. Iyo go go go, iyo go go go, amano yitulu ya juju. Iyo go, abawe bezina, ebezina, abawe bezina, na mili abulamu. Dibe, ndidi kama oye wa munu ya dibe nuwa. Ndidi kama dibe.
So that was the little that we can do because of the time. You can still find it on the YouTube. If you look at the time, we have spent almost 3 hours. But that will go and let me know. Okay, I can't do that. I can't go without calling him. Baba Adeboye, is this a new hand or the old hand? Baba Adeboye.
It is a new hand.
Okay, all right. As of the first,
okay, mo kí gbogbo wa ẹ kú àtàárọ̀. Mo kàn fẹ́ fi kékeré ọ̀rọ̀ náà sọ lórí Azikiwe àti Awólọ́wọ̀. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí alàgbà Kisiku ti sọ, lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n sọ pé kí Awólọ́wọ̀ kó má join kí Azikiwe má join Awólọ́wọ̀ tí Michael Okpara sọ pé ó regret ẹ̀. But kì í ṣe Okpara nìkan ló advice Zik pé kó má join Awólọ́wọ̀. Colonial government náà halẹ̀ mọ́. So decision to make pé kó má join Awólọ́wọ̀ ó pín sọ́nà bíi mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gba. A lè sọ pé one particular thing ni àfikún tí Arrow Smith kọ sílẹ̀. So mo fẹ́ ká rántí yẹn, but tí mo wá fẹ́ ká mú lọ ó ní pé àwọn alàgbà wa tí wọ́n wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí wọ́n fún wa ní details ní. Number 2, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ọjà pé lágbájá dìtẹ̀mọ̀kẹ́ni tẹ́yẹ̀ bá rántí Bánjí Ayílóge, Dípò Akínsíkù àtàwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó ti ń ṣe ẹgbẹ́ tí ó ń jẹjàgbara fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ rí wípé bí kulé ò bá pa ní tòde ò lè pa ní. Tá ń lọ nínú rẹ̀ ní ìsinyìí káwọn Yorùbá rò pé kinní kan ló ṣẹlẹ̀ dẹ̀ pàkó táwọn gbọ́dọ̀ jà fún láàrin wa láti rí agbẹ̀yìnbẹ̀bọ̀jẹ́. So kì í ṣe
Exactly, sir.
àwọn ló tó bẹ́ẹ̀
Exactly.
bíi àbùkù tí à ń rí látọwọ́ àwọn tó jẹ́ tiwa gan ara ẹ̀ lára ẹ̀.
Exactly.
Ẹ ṣeun àti mi ìbá pè yín tí mo fi lọ mi ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ alàgbà Túndé Apẹ́lógún ẹ ti nawọ́ sókè tipẹ́ ẹ béèrè ìbéèrè ní kíákíá torí olóyè Lékan Àlàbí wọ́n fẹ́ lọ sùn. Ẹ ṣe ṣókí ni o.
Ṣe rí prógrámù yìí Yorùbá Gbòde ó popular gan tẹ́lẹ̀. You are getting about 90/100.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o.
The way you are being careful about the way forward, Yoruba way forward. You are very careful woman. Kò jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn kan take program yìí seriously mọ́ or relevant. Ṣé rí gbogbo nǹkan tí olóyè Lékan Àlàbí sọ lénìí, mo ń fetí kan gbọ́, mo ń gbọ́, wọ́n ń sọ ìtàn fún wa, but bí ìtàn yẹn ṣe máa relevant síbi tí àwa Yorùbá fẹ́ lọ ń sìn, Yorùbá nation, láti gba independence, láti gba governance, ká govern ara wa, àti lọ́gbọ́n ju ayé bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ lọ. Bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ kò ṣe pé mọ̀wé nìkan, onínúrere ni wọ́n. Ṣọ́ mi yé ń sìn. So gbogbo nǹkan tá a mọ̀ ń sìn nípa bí àwa Yorùbá ṣe rí ó pọ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Way forward bí a ṣe fẹ́ lọ tá máa gba Yorùbá nation lọ́wọ́ àwọn Haúsá Fúlàní. Gbogbo èyí tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ tá bá ní ká máa kà jáde. Ẹ rí pé àwọn nǹkan díẹ̀ máa agree pẹ̀lú yín, àwọn nǹkan díẹ̀ máa disagree pẹ̀lú ìtẹ̀sọ. Ṣọ́ mi yé ń sìn. For example, any intention Uzegu ni pé kó hand over government. Mi ò rí terrorist, àwọn sójà terrorist ni wọ́n kọ́ terrorize kan wá hand over government lé civilian. Ó rí à. Ṣọ́ mi yé ń sìn. But the fact pé àwọn British colonialists wọ́n hand over government, wọ́n rig election, mo agree yẹn pẹ̀lú yín. But way forward tá fẹ́ lọ ń sìn tá fi máa gba òmìnira. Nítorí gbogbo nǹkan tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ in the past kò lè jẹ́ kí future dá nínú union yẹn, kò lè dá. Àwa tá àti ẹ̀ ń ṣe wòlíì gan pẹ̀lú agbára tọ́lọ́run fún wa, a ti rí, a ti kàwé dé gbogbo ẹ̀. Gbogbo bá ṣe wà ń lo òyìnbó. Bí ọkàn ni bàbá Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ wà nígbà.
Ká má gbàgbé ọjọ́ tí ń lọ o.
Bí òkè má tiẹ̀ ṣọ́tì nẹ̀ torí ẹ lè tún pa mítì sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan ní mi fẹ́ kẹ́ pa mítì níjọ́ míì. So mo fẹ́ kí ẹ wò ó bí a ṣe lè move forward. Ṣọ́ mi yẹn sìn tó máa da fún àwa Yorùbá. A gbọ́dọ̀ wà selfish, we must be selfless. Èmi ò fẹ́ jẹ́ oyè kankan Nàìjíríà o, mo ready àti serve. Ṣọ́ mi yẹn sìn àti clerical level láti ran àwọn èèyàn mi lọ́wọ́. Mo ready àti gbẹ́kan láti kú fún àwọn Yorùbá.
Ẹ ṣeun adúpẹ́ ẹ ṣe.
Tẹ̀rí níjẹta ní Ìbàdàn, a ṣe ayẹyẹ àṣà day. Oyè níyì ló máa ń ṣe kíní yẹn, Canada ló ti máa ń ṣe ayẹyẹ, ó wá gbé wá sí Ìbàdàn. Ẹgbẹ́ mi ní Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, Ìbà Gani Adams, ẹgbẹ́ mi ló jókòó sí ní ìjẹta. Olórí Kábíyèsí Aláàfin, wọ́n wà ní apá àlàáfíà mi. Ìbà ń bi mí ní nǹkan tẹ́ ń sọ yìí. Mo wá sọ fún wọn pé gbogbo aṣọ kan náà ń sá lóòrùn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
But the first one, gbogbo Yorùbá movement, Yorùbá Ìṣọ̀kan group, ẹ papọ̀. Wọ́n di ìkan ṣo. Ẹ má máa gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ sórí social media.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Bàbá tó dá ọ̀rọ̀ shooting star lẹ̀, dákun jẹ́ n fi opportunity. Ẹ bá ń kí Emmanuel Kala, happy 70th birthday. Ó sọ pé best friend òun nínú Eagles àti Super Eagles team ó ní Olóyè Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀dẹ́gbàmí. Ìgbò ni ẹ tí Yorùbá ṣe pé wọn ò fi ẹ̀yà ṣe. The best goalkeeper in Africa and the best center forward Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀dẹ́gbàmí. Ọ̀kàlà ní òun ni the best friend òun nínú team. Merit.
Happy birthday sí wọn kọ́lọ́ jẹ́ kan ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún nílé alààyè.
Emmanuel Okala, happy 70th birthday to you.
So alàgbà Apẹ́lógún kí n fèsì sí ọ̀rọ̀ yín pẹ̀lú Yorùbá Gbòde. bí ẹ ti rí mi ara àwọn ọ̀gá mi náà nù olóyè Lékan Àlàbí ní ọdún 1977 tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ìròyìn èmi ni mo kéré jù tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ kékeré jù ọjọ́ orí mi kò tó ọjọ́ orí ọmọ tó ti lè jáde ìwé mẹ́wàá ṣùgbọ́n mo ti jáde ìwé mẹ́wàá torí mo tètè wọlé la mọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìròyìn ní ṣókí. Adébáyọ̀ Fálétí ó dohùn lọ́run lónìí. Àníkẹ́ Agbájé Williams bàbá tẹ̀dàkọ̀ wọn ni Yẹmí Fáròǹbí àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Àwọn ni wọ́n kọ́ mi èmi ni ọmọ ìkẹyìn wọn léńjẹ nígbà náà. Iṣẹ́ ìròyìn tí àwọn tí wọ́n jókòó àtàwọn míì tí wọ́n fi kọ́ èmi kìí ṣe yellow journalism number 1. Mi ò lè ṣègbè mi ò sì gbọ́dọ̀ ṣègbè. Màánú ní nǹkan tí èmi bá ń ṣe ní nǹkan bí ọdún 25 sẹ́yìn ni mo ṣe àwo èèwọ̀ ó gbèjà tí mo ní kọ́lọ́dẹ ó dọ́dẹ ṣe tí mo ní àtàwùsà kí kálukú ó máa lọ ilé rẹ̀ mo ṣe àwo yẹn fúnra mi personally. Yorùbá Gbòde tí ẹnìkan bá dé tó bá ní báyìí ni restructuring ló ń fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ kó máa bọ̀ kò dìjà. Tẹ́nìkan bá dé tó bá ní Yorùbá nation ni kó máa bọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ bá bí mi fúnra mi màá sọ ìhà tí mo kọ sí i. Mo sì fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rántí wípé Yorùbá Gbòde kì í ṣe ń tá a dá sílẹ̀ nígbà tí Yorùbá nation bẹ̀rẹ̀. Yorùbá Gbòde ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ẹkú lẹ́yìn ni mo kọ́kọ́ ṣe lórí rédíò 11:50 AM ọmọ kékeré ẹkú lẹ́yìn tí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn máa ń wá gbọ́ mi káàkiri. Ó náà la transform tó di Yorùbá Gbòde àti wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Gbòde 8 years ago la move wá sí Kennedy kọ́ tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ rẹ̀. So àwọn ò dálẹ̀ fún pé bóyá a fẹ́ máa fi ṣe Yorùbá nation àbá fẹ́ máa fi ṣe restructuring. A fẹ́ gbogbo culture tẹ́ bá rí ẹ rí pé ńgbà mi máa mú onílù wá ẹ rí pé ńgbà mi a máa sọ òwe àti àṣàyàn ọ̀rọ̀ mo ń ṣe tọ́ba làṣẹ tí màá mú ọba wá. Nítorí náà ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ọgbọ́n á fún lọ́gbọ́n. Lónìí tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation là ń sọ àwọn èèyàn ó ti pé bàbèṣùà ní tẹ́ bá rántí pé jẹjọ kì í ṣe torí pé bóyá ẹnìkan ò ṣe ó ní tó mú wúkálukú ni ní ìjẹjọ tí bàbá Akíntóyè wá àbí ìjẹjọ náà kọ over 150 lágbà lórí ìkíní ṣùgbọ́n ọgbọ́n òpin sẹ́nìkan ọ̀rọ̀ ogun abẹ́lé yìí ó ṣe pàtàkì ẹni bá lórí ó yẹ ká kọ́gbọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan tí bàbá Lékan Àlàbí sọ níbí báyìí lónìí àwọn nǹkan tí mi ò gbọ́ rí pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ ká máa wá ọgbọ́n kún ọgbọ́n ni kò yẹ ká wá joyè pé àdùn sójú kan. Èmi ò sọ pé mi ò sí fún Yorùbá nation òun kọ́ là ń sọ lénìí ṣùgbọ́n tí mò ń sọ ni pé tá a bá mú ẹlòmíì wá tí ò sí fún Yorùbá nation tá a bá fún láyè láti sọ̀rọ̀ bóyá tí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà fún Yorùbá nation bá sọ lẹ́ẹ̀fi wíìnì ẹ̀ sí apá ọ̀dọ̀ yín.
Exactly.
Wọ́n ò kọ́ mi láti jókòó sí ojú kan máa ṣe lọ́tún máa ṣe lọ́sì ohun tí bú kíròyìn ò dùnnú ohun tí jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ rédíò táwa kọ́ rédíò Yorùbá Gbòde kì í ṣe Zoom meeting bẹ́ẹ̀mi tí máa wí. It's a program developed behind a yara that I did for 20 years in Nigeria. Ìmọ̀ràn yín dáa ẹ̀yin náà ẹ gbé tèmi yẹ̀wò kẹ́ẹ̀tún bá àwọn ẹlòmíì sọ. Ààrẹ ọjọ́ Músolókun mo dúpẹ́ pé òkun ẹ dákun bí mo ti máa wí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn tẹ́ bá fẹ́ máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé Yorùbá Gbòde owó ni kẹ̀kẹ́ ìrere à ń ṣe nígbà à ń ṣe lọ́tún à ń ṣe lóṣù rú àwọn bàbá ìwọ̀n ò ní béèrè tọrọ kọ́bọ̀ lọ wà ṣùgbọ́n a lè lọ bòmíì tó jẹ́ pé àwa láṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa gba ẹlẹ́rọ torí náà ẹ dákun ẹ ta Yorùbá Gbòde lọ́rẹ ẹ rán àwọn ọmọ yín wá sílé ẹ̀kọ́ Yorùbá Gbòde torí kí ni àǹfààní ọdẹ ju pé kọ́pọ̀ ẹran wálé lọ ńgbẹ́ ẹ bá ń ṣe àfínìfínì tọmọ yín ò lè gbọ́ Yorùbá ìbàjẹ́ bẹ́ṣù ẹ dákun ẹ jẹ́ kí a kọ́ ọmọ wa ní èdè Yorùbá. Mo dúpẹ́ pé òkun bọ́dá mi lórúkọ gbogbo ẹni táwọn èèyàn láwọn mí sì náà nù wọ́n ní tí n bá ti ń ṣe hàn ẹ mà ṣe hàn mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ alàgbà Abdulrasheed Ọlálékan Àlàbí ẹ̀kẹfà Olúbàdàn ògúnnágbòǹgbò nínú iṣẹ́ ìròyìn akin nínú káfígègé kọ̀wé bàbá àkànmú nǹkan ni yín ara
Yes.
gbàndá ọmọ
Eh,
àṣẹ oníwúrà lẹ́rù
Yes.
ọmọ òṣùpálé ẹni ògún
ẹni tí ọwọ́ bá rẹ̀ bá tó kó lọ tún ṣe.
kó lọ mú olúndẹgún ẹ̀rín
òkòjò lógun.
ọmọ àlàṣàṣàṣàrẹ́bìjà ọmọ tó bá lọ mẹ́kẹrin ajẹ́ǹgbẹ́
ọmọ ajẹ́ǹgbẹ́ tó sogunró
tó wá rí ṣe
ó fàdà mọ̀ táwọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣe kọ́ńdú.
ẹ ṣeun bàbá mi nìbàdàn nílé olúyọ̀lé ọmọ arólú owó nìyí ọmọ arólú omi ọmọ òkè túlú igbó àsàbàrí.
ó wà ní kí olúbàdàn ni ó ní pé ajé ògúngún ló sọ wà kábíyèsí o.
bàbá mi kábíyèsí o ẹ tún bá mi kí bàbá ajé ògún níṣọwọ number 1 ọmọ ọlọ́yẹ̀ àjíbọ̀kè ọmọ ọlọ́yẹ̀ àjílù kéke ọmọ ẹkùn níbà àlùgbò ọmọ ẹkùn níbà kí bàbá ó pẹ́ kánni kéṣe olóyè lẹ́kàn àlàbí ẹ máa bẹ ọ̀bẹ ní ibẹ̀ṣu abẹ ní ibẹ̀rí olówó àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ ní bẹ̀nà ẹ ní lọ bí ẹja tó lọ tí ò débú ẹ ní lọ bí kọ̀ǹkọ̀ tó lọ tí ò dé alẹ́ odò ẹ yá ẹ rà ẹ ní kú láíláí ẹ bá mi kí màá mi o ẹ bá ń sọ fún wọn pé mo ní ọjọ́ àdálẹ́ àpẹ́ lẹ́yìn wọn ò ní fọwọ́ gbé wa sí àwa láàsìn wọn bó ṣe wù kí wọn ó pẹ́ tó láṣẹ Ìdùmarè. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àǹtí Táíwò àǹtí mi Táyé lolú èjìrè ará àṣokùn ẹdùn gbálájà orí igi ojú òní yín ti ẹ̀ ní tẹ́ èmi náà fẹ́ máa lo àjídí yọ́ǹgì bíi ti yín o bóyá mọ́gì lẹ fi ń yọ́ǹgì mo fẹ́ dàbí yín.
orúkọ yín náà là ń gbọ́ ta fi ń fàyìn sí ojú yín náà là ń wò.
Gbogbo Àṣàkẹ́ ló special ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo àwọn bọ̀dá mi bàbá Adéníran Adébóyè onílọ̀kọ́ ọmọ àrélù ọmọ amúdàgéńgí fi bí àná ẹ̀ lórí kẹ́ ẹ gbó kẹ́ ẹ tọ́ ojú òní yín ti ẹ̀ ní tẹ́ bàbá Bánjí Ayílóge ẹ̀yà ẹ̀ rà ẹ̀ ní kú láíláí yèyé Ọmọfọlábọ̀ wọ́n ránṣẹ́ wọn ní àwọn ń ṣiṣẹ́ ilé lónìí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn náà mo dúpẹ́ pé òkun gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wá bí lónìí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín àwọn atọ́kùn mi mo dúpẹ́ Abọ́lájí Ayọ̀bámi mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Adéyínká ọmọ bàbá Ìyájì Alábí ojú òní ọtí òní tẹ́ láíláí òní ṣòwò fọmọ ẹlòmíì jẹ Babádélé Bánkẹ́ Adébọ́lá òun lójú ọmọ yọǹgì báyìí ọkàrẹ o tó ní ìní àti máa dágbére torí pé adùdùdù ọgbọ́dọ̀ dárí ń gbọ́dọ̀ gbàgbé àbúrò mi Kòfẹ́sọ̀ ẹlẹ́ńjìníà láti Ìbàdàn onímọ̀ bá wa gbé àwọn èèyàn sórí afẹ́fẹ́ Wálé Gàzá àáfà onírùngbọ̀n ojú òní ọtí òní tẹ́ láíláí fara sí àdúgbò àwọn bọ̀ọ̀dá lálẹ́ yìí Ọlọ́run ó sọ yín délé láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ á tún ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ a fẹ́ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò kí nìdí tá a fi ní à ń lọ sí Yorùbá Nation gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà tí wọ́n ń bẹ ń di ìgbà tí wọn kì í jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ onígbò ó sì gbàjẹ gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n ń bọ̀ ní lọ́jọ́ mẹ́jọ tí àjọ wa ṣá àjọ là torí ẹ̀ là lọ̀rọ̀ bàbá là kì í yé ni. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹnjìníà mi tèmi tí ń bẹ ní Ayọ̀tẹ́jú Adékúnbi Àlàkẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ ọlọ́yẹ̀ Àjíbọ̀kè ó ṣeun olówó orí ìyẹ́ ẹ̀ mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ mo dúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn pátá tí ẹ jọ pawọ́pọ̀ tí ètò fi ṣe é ṣe bí èmi tí máa ń wí ẹni tó fúnni lówó kò jẹ́ kí ebi ó pani kú ẹni tó fúnni nímọ̀ kò fẹ́ ká rìn lókun àìnímọ̀ ẹni tó fúnni lọ́mọ kò fẹ́ ká jàjẹrun bí iṣu mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yèyé mi o Ẹ̀gbìnọlá Adékúnbi àtúnwá ẹ̀dùn ló kọ́ mi láṣà mo jèrè àṣà ire ní mògùn ará àlágbẹ̀dẹ ibi tó bá wà ilẹ̀ ire ni ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ èmi ni n ó wà ẹ̀yin ni n ó bá ojú òní wá tì àní tẹ́ láéláé ire o.
Ire.